Hear me okay? Yeah. Clearly, not too loud, not too much bass. It's like being at school. Anybody else got any more of these forms? Thank you. The reason, on a serious note, the reason why see me again. Anyone else? On a serious note, when I ran a workshop before many years ago when I didn't know about the videoing and the law behind that. And what happened was I videoed something and thank you. And it appeared on Sky News. And there was a girl, it was a dating event, and there was a girl in the front that must have been turned halfway. You knew it was her. You knew it was her if you knew it was her. That makes sense, but you could only see the side. Anyway, they showed a clip of me presenting on Sky, on a program on Sky. She then contacted me, said she never gave me permission to use her in the footage. And when I originally videoed it, I didn't use it on the sole basis of it to be on Sky TV. So this is why I'm just basically to say this is going to be recorded, it's going to be used for DVD and promotional purposes. That was all. So it's just to cover. There's always one, as we know. So I just want to make it safe. Thank you for coming along today. My name's Des O'Connor. How many of you know me? Don't know me? Don't want to know me? And sorry for the delay this morning. Some technical glitches, but we're getting back on track. Can you take a seat, please? Do you want me to take your case for you at the back as well? We carry that. We provide that service as well. Morning, Caroline. Yeah, pass me. I'll put it in the back for you. What you got in there, Bob? Right, good morning. So, thank you all. We're going to have a fantastic day today, aren't we? Yes. Yes. Those of you that know me, my name's Des O'Connor, and I mainly work, I'm a relationship coach, and I mainly work with singles and couples to help them achieve positive in their life. However, today's not a relationship event, or is it? No. How many of you want the 7 steps to finding attract the right notes? But first of all, thank you for coming along today on a sunny morning. Everyone's on time, and we're going to have a fantastic event. We've got Sharon's going to be delivering some awesome information today, and we're all excited for that. Who hands up those of you that have done blogging before? And hands up those of you that haven't done blogging before. Yeah, I hate it as well. It's very complicated, isn't it? And all that SEO stuff. But today Sharon's going to share some simple steps with you on how you can implement some simple strategies on how you can improve your business. Is that what you want today? Yes. Excellent. So, before we get started, can everybody just stand up, please? You all have a schedule and you all have your workbook. Is that correct? Yes. Yes. Excellent. So, what we're going to do, just look around the room. I just want you, just before we get warmed up, just introduce yourself to 5 people that you don't know. Give them your name, what your business is, and what you're hoping to achieve from today. 5 people that you don't know, 30 seconds each, go! You will have ample time to network later. You will have ample time to network later. Cool. Was that good? Nice and warmed up? Made some good connections? Okay, so we can get back to our seats, please. Okay, brilliant. So we're just going to go over the agenda, and then we're going to bring the main person up. Data registration. Sharon's first of all going to be talking about introduction, why blogging, what is a blog, benefits of blogging, types of blogs. Then we're going to have a break, 10:45, and I'm going to come along and talk about how webinars can treble your income while you sleep. You'd be interested in finding out about that? Brilliant. That's going to be the best presentation of the day. And how to choose your niche, choose the correct platform, systems and techniques. There's going to be a lunch, 45 minutes, take note, please. If that. Resources, widgets and plugins, and then in 1:45, content going viral on social media. Another break, how to promote your content, monetizing the blog, and Q&A, blogging and social media. All these subjects are going to be covered by Sharon, so I'm only going to be covering from 11 till 12. Are we ready?
Yes!
Are we ready?
Yes!
Okay. Well, what can I say? She's... Have you got a clicker, Sharon?
Oh, sorry.
You keep pressing. Not yet. Without further ado, let me just introduce the main person that's going to be here today. Big round of applause, please, everybody, for Sharon Calix.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. This is my first own event that I'm doing by myself. So, thank you all. I'm normally speaking at other people's events, but I thought, let me just do one by myself. And today, we're going to be talking about blogging. Yes? What about it? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. How many people know me? Or know of me? Yeah. Okay, that's great. And how many people have known me in the last 2 years? Really? Okay, that's great. That's awesome. Andrew, you know me longer. Who's known me longer than 2 years? How do I know yourself?
Oh, through Desi's friends.
Oh, okay. Stop promoting. Okay, so I'm going to just really, for those that don't know me, I'm just going to give you a really quick about me, so you just get to know how I got to here today. If that's okay. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So I'm a mum of 4 children who was married and got divorced in 2008. I have a very young child who has a lifetime bowel disease, and he's now 6. When my son was born, I faced some really tough challenges, which meant that I became really severely unwell, and I was in bed for about 3 years. I couldn't get up, I couldn't eat, I didn't wash my hair, I just about showered. I really was in a bad, dark place. And life to me wasn't really worth living. I just didn't want to get up and do anything. So social media was my outlet. Come in. Social media was my outlet. So I spent all my time, I didn't speak to anybody, by the way. I just spoke to people on social media. And I would start groups and pages and I would talk forever. And every time I'd go on social media, I'd get a message from Des saying to me, why don't you do something with this? And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to see my post again. I was like, you know. And he was obviously in a place of coaching and trying to help, but when you're not ready to take responsibility or to take action, no amount of help is going to help you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Until one day, I was fully dependent on my family. So if I wanted a pair of shoes, if I wanted to get Happy Meal for my kids, my mum would supply for me everything. Absolutely everything, for me and my children. So one day I bought Happy Meal for my kids, and I got really badly told off for it. And I was like, why am I getting told off? I'm like, it's just a Happy Meal, you know? And I was told by somebody that I'm not in enough pain to take action. And that really hit me. Who's heard of Mark Anastasia? Author of Laptop Millionaire? Yeah? So he was running a seminar, and if you know Mark, you'll get his emails all the time. And I was being sent these emails by Des every single day almost to go on to one of his seminars. And it was only happened on that day that I thought, you know something, I'm going to go to one of his seminars. And on that day, I was sat in an audience just like this. I was so bored, I didn't want to go, but I thought I had to be there. And they were running a competition of some kind, and I didn't know what the competition was about, but the competition was basically Is that better? Yeah.
Yes.
Leave it where it was. Is that okay?
Yes.
You better give the camera. I was in mid-flow.
Speak a bit loud, speak a bit loud.
They were running a competition. Can you all hear me at the back?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's cool. They were running a competition on that day, and for the benefit of the competition, I was like, whoever had the best business would go up on stage and tell the audience of about 400 people it was, what your business was. So I got talking to the organizer, who I didn't know was Mark, and he was like, how do you find this seminar? I was like, it's dead boring, I don't want to be here. And he's like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I sit on Facebook all day long and I open pages, and at the time I had about 28,000 followers. And he was like, you find it boring? Good morning. And he was like, okay, we'll talk later. Anyway, they had about 12 people on stage, and Mark said, get this girl up on stage. I was like, me, I don't have a business. I sit in bed and cry all day. I don't have a business. So they went through the line and they said, am I saying the story as it happened? Guys that were there?
Yeah.
Okay, so they went through the line and they said, tell your business. And I said, okay, I sit on Facebook all day and I engage with people and I get them talking, and I come back and they have a long thread of people talking about my stuff, to the point that my content was getting ranked. Leave the thing alone, it's okay. Does that sound alright? Yeah? So, audience started clapping and I was like, what's wrong with these people? I thought I was a depressed one. I didn't understand what was going on. Basically, I won the seminar. I won the competition that they were running. And they asked me to do a live webinar for all the people that were in the competition. And the webinar was that I was going to show them how I generated all this traffic to the business. Yeah? On that day, I made $17,000 from having nothing. I didn't even have lunch money that day. I didn't have much money. And my life changed completely after that. I didn't have to go to my mum anymore. And I got recognised overnight. And really, it's been a big life-changing decision. And that, for me, it was taking that first step and getting up, and it gave me a reason to get up in the morning and do something. It wasn't about money, because I donated all the money to charity, and I started again, and I believe if you give with one hand, you receive with another. And that's what happened for me. It hasn't stopped since. So that's my journey. Okay, now to the fun stuff. Oh, sorry. So within a year of that, I won Social Media Coach of the Year for the UK, because I was really recognised and I was being endorsed. So I got endorsed and accredited by the Association of Professional Coaches and Trainers for the UK. So they endorsed me for my work, and what I then started to do is work with companies and establish how they can become an authority in their niche and grow an audience, to position themselves and grow an audience to follow them. Yeah, that's what I do. Then this year in March, I became Speaker of the Year, and I was nominated Speaker of the Year and I came runner-up. It wasn't about standing like this and being like that. It wasn't that kind of speaker. It was about how you touch somebody from the stage and delivering your message from the stage. That's what the Speaker of the Year category was about. So I came runner-up for that. And I'm also a platinum expert author for Easyline's articles. I achieved that within a month of blogging. Okay? That was really, really hard. Really easy. Okay, pardon. That was really, really easy. And I showed in one of my previous workshops in December. Do you remember, Julie, when I got an email and I was like, hello, I don't want to, I wrote it back to Easyline's article saying, I don't want to pay for this, I want to earn it. And they're like, I actually showed the email at one of my events. I think Julie was there. Were you there, Susan? No, not that one? No? Okay, and I said, and I got an email back saying, no, actually I've earned this, and within 8 days I made my first deal, £800 just for a blog. Okay? Today I'm going to show you how to do the same. If I can do it, I'm just an everyday girl who comes from a family that believe that you have to work 9 to 5, retire at 65, and you inherit and that's it, and anybody else can do it. That's what I mean. I used to work with Andrew in head office in collections, and I T-Mobile, and that was pretty much it. Go home at 5 or 4 sometimes, and on a salary, day in, day out, day in, day out. The blogs. You want to know some more? So today we're going to cover the following: how to create a blog. Oh, sorry. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can we get access to that full screen?
I'm going to give you quite a lot of stuff after, so just bear with me, and you can take note of what you really need to take note of. You don't have to take note of everything, yeah, because as you'll know, if you've come to my events before, what I normally do. So this is what I'm going to cover with you. The things that I think that you should really take note of, I'll tell you. Is that okay? Yeah? Or the things I'm not going to give you, shall I say that? I'll tell you about. How many people here actually are on social media? Everybody, almost. Is anyone not on social media? Yourself?
Yeah.
You're not? Okay, that will change that.
When you say social media, on Facebook.
Yeah, that's it, you're on social media.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
I've actually registered the.
You're on social media, brilliant. Registered, that's fantastic. Okay, and how many of you use your phone to check up your statuses? Wow. Okay. How many of you do this before you even put your feet on the floor in the morning? You're all lying. Why the hell my hands are lying? So you don't do that?
Oh, sorry, I'm
Okay, that's the power of social media. Okay, we want to know. We're just nosy. We just want to know what's going on, and that's what's happening, and the alerts that come coming through our phone. How many are actually logged in right now? Why are you logged in? You're here. You're meant to be present with me. I know. I saw. Thank you. But you see, we just want to stay current with what's going on, and that's happening subconsciously. Yeah. So I'm going to show you how to own your own blog. I know that the majority of you, well, it's a 50-50, I think. Not everybody blogs, and some people do. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah? Those that aren't blogging, I'm going to show you how to, and how to also go viral with your blog. Is that okay?
Please.
I know Lisa writes, but she's not sharing her knowledge, so we're going to get that out there as well. How to write content, how to edit your work. I'm not talking about edit like copywriting edit, I'm talking about get it out there publicly. What's that?
Sorry, I know you're talking about blogging, but just to show her a comment, blogging, the same as using your social profiles.
No. I'll differentiate that. And obviously we want to make money from our blog long term. Yeah? And how to use social media effectively and let it go viral. I'm going to use examples that I've done that's going to help you do the same. So there's nothing that I haven't done that you can't implement. So it's like walking the walk, and then you can show you to do the same thing, yeah? So section 1, the blogging basics. Who has a niche for their blog that does blog? Oh, I beg your pardon, I don't do that. I need to stand in front of my class. Who has a niche? Okay.
Okay, sorry. You have to tell me what a blog is.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. That's why you're here. Okay, no worries then. Who's the songwriter in here? Not here yet. Okay. I know that Caroline's the teacher. I saw your blog on Facebook the other day, Andrew. You posted it, yes. And I saw somebody else's. Okay, come to me. Did you send me your blog? We'll come. Okay, so there are different types of blogs. Okay, and we're going to differentiate between the different types of blogs. What is a blog? What is a blog? If you wait, you will get to find out.
That's one way of telling them, isn't it?
Okay, let me stand this side. Okay, a blog. Are we taking notes? No, I'm joking. You don't need to take notes for this. This is really easy. Basically, it's a piece of information that can be. Oh God! I need this chair here actually. Yeah, because in a minute I'm going to go like this. It's basically a collector's item. Collector's item is a piece of information that you collect, and you can put it in different formats. Yeah, so you can have it as a podcast. You can have it as a video. What else can you have? Come on.
Images.
Yeah. Think with me.
Infographic.
Yeah.
A journal.
Yeah.
Newsletter.
Yes. Did you get the idea of what a blog could be?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
Slowly.
So a blog is your information that you collect in one place, and you can have it in different types of formats. Yeah. So like we said, we have images, videos, links to relevant pages, and so forth. And you'll find these on the web as well. This is where you'll find this information on the internet. Yeah? In the blogging world, you, as in the blogger, yeah? Is there anything I can do about that? When I stand-
Sharon, if you stand there and twist that,
Yeah, I need to look at that. There's no way I'm memorising these songs. Enough to think about it. Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Okay, so is that better? Yeah, so in the blogging world, right, you're the blogger, okay? So you are the person that's writing the content. You got it? Are we following all together? We're at the same pace, yeah? And then the blog is what your readers are going to be reading and communicating to your content through the dialogue, yeah? Very, very basic, very straightforward. So they're contributing to the article that you've written. Does that make sense? That you're writing your content or broadcasting or wherever it is, and that's what's going to happen. So you're basically communicating your message online in different ways. And blogs happen on mainstream media, and it's a way of niching your information so that people can... Caroline, what are you doing?
I'm listening to you while I'm also trying to work out, trying to put photographs of
Please, no mobiles. I'm watching every one of you. Okay? Yeah? This is really important. Yeah.
I take notes on my mobile.
If I walk around and you're not doing anything else, I'll say no. Okay, so basically, you're niching your information and you're putting on mainstream media for people to read your content. Yeah? Always online. There are different types and styles of blogs. So, those that have personal interests like lifestyle blogging, they would blog about things that are of personal interest to themselves. Who blogs about personal things? Nisha, what do you blog about?
Empowerment and inspiration.
Okay, so that's called a personal blog. Yeah? What other type of blog could be a personal blog?
Food, diet.
Yes? Yes?
Exercise.
Coaching? No. Coaching, I'm going to say no.
Exercise, well-being,
Yeah.
anything to do with health.
Yeah. Then we have the business type of blog, which would come under the coaching, so it would be your expertise and the information that you want to share in terms of reaching the public. So you're going to position yourself online with your business type of blog. They're the two so far, yeah? And then we're going to have your really niche type of blog. Who said health?
Me.
Yeah, that would be a niche type of blog, Lisa, because you're really micro niche in the area. So we'd have health.
What about mindset?
Yeah, that's niched.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's niched because you're focusing just on the mindset,
Okay.
nothing else. What are you two talking about?
Oh, I'm just trying to identify what kind of blog I'm doing.
What is your blog about?
I haven't started it yet. It's still in my head and the floor point of
Okay.
it. I think it's a mixture between lifestyle and something.
Okay. We'll work it out because you're all going to find out what your blog is today. Okay? But everyone's going to know their niche.
Can you log in too?
Yes, definitely. You do.
I do.
Yeah, you do. And then we have the media. We have already established that Renee, who's eating some raw food.
Oh,
Oh.
happy I am.
She does video blogging, so you're there cast as a blogger. Some people don't like to write and prefer to be videoing all the time. Others like to do the opposite. Yeah? What would you like to do, Mr. Green?
Other people, I'm here to try and work out exactly what type of blogging I want to do.
Right.
Right?
So far you're not quite sure which type of blog you're into, right? Yeah? Okay. What kind of blogging do you do?
I don't at the moment, but I'm here with two guys. There's one as a trustee for charity, two as a landscape photographer.
Okay. And this is the fifth type.
What if there's someone that really is very interested in the body, the brain, and wants to feed that out of you?
Pardon?
Someone who is interested in the brain and they have first time in the health, what would be something interesting?
Yes, it's a niche. Sonia, your type of blogging, which is communications and 4 keys to communications, that would be niched. Yeah? Because you're the different types of personalities and the brains and stuff like that. Yeah? So that's very niche blogging. Would you realise that? Yeah. So reverse bloggings are a unique type of bloggings. Instead of the owner creating the content is shared by the public. So basically, you are reading somebody else's blog, someone else's content online. So when you would go and search for content online, yeah, you're doing the opposite as opposed to sharing it. Does that make sense?
But it resonates with you and you agree with it, so you resonate.
Yes. So then you contribute to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go into that. So basically, for example, what would you find something that you that's appealing to read? Anything that fits on nutrition. So then that's the reverse because you may contribute to that.
Okay.
Yes. Why do we blog? But those of you that were really kind enough to reply to my form that I sent you online, apart from the ones that sent it this morning and last night, why do we blog? I established from the research that I did with you guys that most people want to blog for many reasons. But the most popular reasons were you want people to listen to you. You want people to hear what you have to say. And that's how you're going to reach out to them. When you want to go and find information, where do you go? Google. Yeah? You go to Google and you type it in. If it comes up, you're going to read it. Okay? So you want people to hear what you have to say. You also want to be positioned as an expert in your field. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you know enough knowledge about your business or your niche, then you can share that information. Okay? And then you want to create awareness about what it is you're doing. This is what you guys have told me. So you want to create awareness awareness about what it is you're doing, and you want people to know that you actually exist and hey, I'm actually doing this. And also you want to make money, right? In the long you want to make money. There are many benefits to blogging. Are we up to pace? Do we understand what a blog is? Do we understand the types of blogs? Yeah? Anyone doesn't understand the type of blog? Okay. And do we understand why people blog so far? Those basic, really basic. It's very, very simple. Okay. So if we get to these basics, it's very easy to get the blog going, because the information's with you, not with me. All my job is to make it go out, get it out there. Does that make sense? Yeah? You want to become a better writer and a thinker. I'm not saying a professional writer, go and do a writing course, but you want to be able to think and write properly about what you're saying. Yeah? What was your name? Sorry? Yeah. Oh yes, Jackie. Oh, Jackie. This is Jackie O'Brien. Everybody, can we welcome her? Jackie has been looking forward to this event, and can you see that she looks a bit shy? No, she doesn't. She looks good. Are you okay, Jackie? I remember, I'm looking at you thinking I know your face, but I met Jackie online and she's a lovely lady, and I'm going to tell you her in a little while. Anyway, mastering content. Okay, you're going to master your content. Is that bad of me to do that? Mastering content, yeah? And again, I'm talking about establishing yourself as an expert. And blogs are a wonderful way to establish, blogging is a wonderful way to establish, to establish and expand your, blogging is a wonderful way to establish and share your interest with others. Yeah? It also increases your self-confidence, because when people respond to you, you think that you know that you're doing something right. So when people are saying, God, I like this, thank you for sharing, blah, 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 you're more enticed to do more. You're enticed to share more. Yeah? And the more you write, the more confidence you'll gain in your niche. You'll make friends and you'll have fun, and you'll also build an online community and followers. Yeah? We've talked about making money and the financial gains. I know that I'm due to wrap up. Before I wrap up on this section, I just want you to think about, because I'm going to tell you in this next section how to choose your niche. And I want to ask you, how many people have seen my blogs? Okay. Do you feel, and honestly, I don't mind, I really want you to be honest, because unless you give me positive feedback, there's no room for growth. I was saying that to Andrew yesterday. Do you feel that the information I share is current, valid? What do you feel?
I feel that blogging is, I want to pinpoint where I want to go.
Okay. So when people leave me comments, I make the option to view them first before I publish them, because some people spam, some people leave rude comments, some people want to give their own opinion and disagree with what I'm saying. When you're having a blog, I'm going to show you how to control all of that, so that you're in control of who sees what and how your comments and blogs are shared. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions to ask me right now?
You're probably going to cover it, but when I set up a blog, I had so much spam coming in, so many people just pouring in comments about their business. And,
Yeah.
they can sort my website, they can do this.
Yeah.
So I just turned the comments off. Couldn't handle it. So I just
Yeah.
did no comment.
But then people will actually leave valid comments, and then so it's really down to whether or not you want to manage those comments. I mean, I know there'll be so many, and I've seen your blog as well, Graham. So if you see 2 or 3 good comments, sometimes they're worth publishing because people then feel like they want to contribute to that conversation.
Sure, maybe I just didn't hear it this time.
Okay,
Can I ask you a question?
yeah,
Can you blog from anywhere?
anywhere. Your phone, YouTube.
So from
Who uses
and then
Blogger?
eventually- That's what I'm trying to
Sorry?
do. You need a-
Blogger.
Okay.
Who uses Blogger?
As platform, isn't it?
Yes, as a blogger. Blogger is a blogging platform which I'm not going to promote at all. No. The reason being, is that Blogger at any time can take down your content. Anytime. Because if they don't like what you're sharing, they have the right to do that. And all the stuff that you put on there goes. You don't own that. Yeah?
So Sharon, I've got a website and I have a blog page on there. Is that a valid way to go around
Yeah.
blogs? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that.
What about WordPress?
Yeah, I'll skim through that, but I want to give you things today that aren't WordPress and that aren't Blogger, because everybody knows about those. Yeah? I'm gonna really brief over WordPress for those that are using it. I'm going to go into the details about the other stuff that nobody really has heard of. And if you have, I really want you to challenge me on that. Go
Can
ahead.
I ask you about Tumblr?
Yes, that's very good. Yeah. Yeah.
How often should you blog that's not overkill? but
As
it's
often
just
as you feel that you can. Stay current, out of sight, out of mind. Who has their own hashtag, apart from Julie? Right. Okay. This is the first tip of the day. Write this all down. Julie doesn't have to write this down. What's your hashtag? Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Sing excellent.
Okay. How have you got that?
I just made it up, so I don't know if it's now something that I just like that singing passion.
Ah, yes, you are the one that does the singing. You're the singing.
Yeah, I'm not a songwriter, but I'm
Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry.
performance.
Yeah, what's your name again? Sue Appleby, yes. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So we're going to go to Twubs, twbs.com.
Words.
twbs.com. And you're going to register your own hashtag, and I'm going to tell you how to do that after the break.
I didn't realise that you had to register.
Yes, you do. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I'll give you more about that afterwards. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay?
Round of applause for Sharon, that's the first bit. Boy, has anybody learned anything? What have you learned so far? Anyone want to share?
CWBS.
CWBS, anyone else? Sorry? Different types of blogs, excellent. Anybody else? Yes, Sandra? You just turned up. I know. What?
How do you get those when you see them? You're like, how do you get those?
Brilliant. Anyone else?
Reason for blogging.
Reasons for blogging. Excellent. Fantastic. Right, what we're going to do, there's a woman at the back there, Lisa, if you'd like to come to the front. She's our sponsor for today, and she's going to be sharing with you some very, very interesting information. She's going to come and give a short presentation for 5 minutes. Then we're going to have a break, and then I'm going to find out how you can use webinars to triple your income as you speak. So, round of applause, can we just welcome Lisa?
Thank you so much. Actually, I might just put this over there. Actually, yeah, I'll pass that around in a minute. So thank you so much. I want to give a huge thank you to Sharon for inviting me to come down and speak with you guys today. My name is Lisa Panton, and funnily enough, I met my business partner who came along, helped me change my life through blogging and social media, as it happens. So the power of social media and blogging is incredible. It turns the world into such a small place, and we've managed to develop a business over 4 or 5 countries that helps people lose weight. So raise your hand if anybody in the room has 10 pounds or more that they'd like to lose. No T-Rexing, like So what we actually do is I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have an obesity epidemic in the UK. Anybody aware? Okay. So the actual statistics right now on obesity is that 68% of men and 56% of women in the UK are now overweight. And what we do is we provide an incredible solution and option for people to be healthy, taking better nutrition, and develop a better lifestyle long term to help them lose weight. So what I'm going to do is, just while I finish up here, this right over here is about 10 pounds. It's a 5-key med ball. So I'm going to pass this around from front to back. And I want you guys to just do one push-up in the air with it, with both hands. And I just want you to feel how much 10 pounds actually weighs. Push it up. That's 5-key, it's approximately 10 pounds. And if you have 10 pounds or more to lose, if you have 20 pounds to lose, you have 2 of those that you're actually carrying around with you every day. And 10 pounds is actually a reduction, or losing 10 pounds of body fat, a reduction in 10% body fat, 10 pounds of body fat, sorry, not 10%, is actually going to reduce your blood pressure. It's going to actually lower your blood sugar. It's a dress size for a woman, and it's a belt notch for a man. So what we do is we go out and provide a really healthy alternative. We actually, that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a big speech for you. I wanted to raise a little bit of awareness on the situation that we have with this. And we actually go out, help people, and actually help people set up and get started going out and helping their communities get fit and healthy as well. Actually challenging to lose people to lose 10 pounds at a time. So we're at the back. We're actually having a prize draw. We have a 2-week free trial of the challenge for anybody that is interested. And all you have to do is fill out one of our health surveys that we have on the table there. So I want to say a big thank you again to Sharon for inviting us to come down and enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So go and see Lisa at the back. What we're going to do now, we're going to have a 15-minute break. So go to the toilet, the bathroom. What we need to do is network, and then we're going to come back and carry on in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the mic sound okay?
Yeah.
Shh. Thank you. Okay. Webinars. How many of you use webinars for your business? No? Okay. I was going to talk 2-3 minutes about myself before I get into it, because this is Sharon's day. Those who don't know me, I'm Des O'Connor. I am an award-winning relationship expert, and I deal with everything related to relationships. Whether you remember me, what does that mean? I remember you. My boyfriend split off me because of you. So I help singles find and attract the right partner, and also train people to become relationship experts. And I'm writing a book that's coming out, and I've just recently come back from America. So that's basically what I do. So you're most probably wondering, what the hell has that got to do with webinars? And why am I at a social media event today? Both of you wondering that? No? Or just me?
Yes.
Yes. Get out, what are you here for? And what I was doing was, I was, when I first found out about webinars, I find it fascinating that you can deliver a presentation to anybody in the world from their laptop or their phone. And that's powerful, you think about that. Those of you that have businesses, you all here have businesses, you can deliver your message that way live, as well as recorded as well, which is called automated webinar, which I'm going to cover as well. So when I was, my first webinar, I conducted my first webinar. I'm a qualified driving instructor as well. Years ago, I was a driving instructor. And what I realised was, in the driving instructor industry, there wasn't anybody that was dealing with, this is 2006, after my divorce. I had a divorce in 2007, 2007-6, I was studying to be a life coach. to help driving instructors to improve their business as well as their life with life coaching, because there's actually over 40,000 driving instructors in the UK. So that, would you say that's a market there? I mean, no one was tapping into that. And I accidentally fell into the dating arena. And what happened was, my first webinar was to help driving instructors improve their business. It was my first webinar. I used GoToMeeting. Who's familiar with GoToMeeting? Brilliant. And can you just picture this? I was in front of my laptop, and my ex-girlfriend at the time was freaking me out, as women do, guys. You know what I'm talking about? And I call myself a relationship expert. I need to have empathy here. So picture this, right? Guys can relate to this. I'm in front of the computer. I've got 97 driving instructors throughout the whole of the UK waiting to hear my presentation like this. Okay, so I'm good to go. She's stressing me out, talking about, I don't know what she was talking to me about. She kept going on. I said, not now. And then she kept going on. So I had to deal with that as well as this. And you know when you're doing something and you know you don't feel confident about it, but you're giving it a go anyway. Yeah. So the signs was there. So I think, geez, have I clicked this, have I clicked that? So on the webinar, you can see everybody that's attending. So as like in here, the webinar was getting packed. So all of a sudden there was 10, there was 20, that's why I knew there was 95 on the webinar. So I'm good to go. All these driving instructors, there was loads of slides, and I started. I thought, yeah, great. So I've gone through the slides, I got to about slide 30, and for some reason my mobile was vibrating, but I didn't want to take it because it would possibly change my state. So it kept going and going. Anyway, I picked it up, and about 30 people said to me, audio's not on. So, believe me, when I say that I've mucked up, I've done everything that you shouldn't do on a webinar. So what I do now, when I have a webinar, I have a checklist above the webinar, do this, do that. And I've never, ever failed to do that again since then. Because what I do is ask everybody on the webinar, can you hear me? I didn't know that at the time. So I thought I'd just share that with you to say that I mucked up on my first webinar, which was, and what made it worse, I think I was selling a £500 product. I didn't sell any. So imagine, 95 instructors on there. I don't even want to think about potentially the money I lost on that. And that affected my confidence because I didn't do any work. Can you imagine how I must have felt from that? I could have taken that and jumped back into it, but there was a lot of negativity because I was the only one doing that in the driving instructor industry. They were being negative, they were saying it was a con and all this kind of stuff, even though it was a free webinar. You think they paid. And from then, I took 2 years out. I didn't even attend any webinars, but I knew part of me was going to be able to deliver it. And then, lo and behold, I set up Des O'Connor's webinars. So that's taken a negative situation and turning it into a positive. And I like to share that with people. Thank you. What about this side? No, put your drink down and blow. But no, that's and I'm a coach as well. And those of you that are into personal development and empowerment, you know that when something negative happens to you, it's not always a bad thing. You can turn it around like I've just done with that. Now I'm helping. It wasn't a bad thing. At the time, yes. Yes, at the time, it affected because I'm a very confident person, but it affected me because, I was all set up and prepared and I could see everybody registering and it didn't work out. So now I know I'm helping entrepreneurs and companies do the same sort of thing and take it to the next level as well. So, just out of curiosity, hands up again those of you that use webinars for your businesses. 1, 2, you do webinars, okay. And what platform do you use? GoToMeeting?
I've done one.
You've done one.
I shied away from it because I was in a webinar course and I shied away from it because I couldn't see the people I'm talking to.
I know.
And I like to see people.
Do you know something? Thank you for that. Do you know something? Me personally, I'm not nervous here now, but when I'm more nervous when I'm doing a webinar. And the thing, you can relate to that. The thing is, the reason why, you don't know, you could be talking to yourself. That's the worst thing.
It's not like radio, because I've done radio work and it's similar. You don't see the people, but I love radio.
But the difference between that is the people that are logging onto the webinar want to speak to you specifically. This is your tribe, this is your crowd, this is your business. You're not having a chat to, how many people in the area are not interested in you. This is like your business. You've invited you, and it's going to affect your brand. So it needs to be all correct. What I would suggest is go to meeting. I'm going to cover that a little bit later, but it's free. You get a 30-day trial. Try it. Play about with it. You can record your webinar, and they send you the replay back for free. And practice it. How many of you honestly are terrified of webinars? But practice it. That's the only way you're gonna overcome that. So why you should use webinars? How many of you have a service? Okay, and keep your hand up if you provide training. Brilliant. So is it fair to say that there's an audience out there that would be very much interested in what you would have to deliver on a webinar? Globally, by the way, not just locally, globally. Just think about that. Because we're so used to, like for example, Sharon's doing this event here today, and it's for you guys in London, which is great. But I guarantee there's thousands of people internationally will be interested in what she's delivering today. So you should use webinars because one of the main things it does, it gives you leverage. It gives you maximum leverage to deliver your message out to the audience that you're trying to attract as well. For those of you who don't know what a webinar is a seminar or workshop delivered over the internet. So, in a nutshell, this is me delivering this webinar to you on your laptop, to your laptop or your phone. Everybody with me so far on what a webinar is? Okay, please, nobody asks me in 45 minutes time what is a webinar. Right, so that's what it is. Here's the webinar system. Basically, you're the host. The host is the person that's in charge of conducting the webinar. You have a webinar hosting provider, for example, GoToMeeting. Those of you heard of GoToMeeting? Yep. Yep. You've got all your attendees here, and all your attendees can be anywhere in the world. All they need to do is register, just like you registered for today's event. That's all that happens. Let me just ask a question. Just picture this. If you was to hold your own webinar, let's say you had 500 people attending your webinar, okay? What would you want to deliver? Just think about that. Think about that for a second. So imagine you've got 500 people in the room and they've registered to your webinar. Just think about what you would deliver. Because obviously you're going to sell something. Yeah. You're not just going to provide a webinar for the sake of it. You are going to be able to sell something. Most people sell something at the end of the webinar. So just think about it. What I want you to do is turn to the person next to you and just share, 30 seconds each, what you would want to deliver on your webinar. Go.
Actually, I'm gonna need this. Were you saving this on her hard drive, or the hard drive that I'm gonna give you next week? Would it be easier to do it on the one next week for you, or would it be easier? Let's do it all one go. Let me know. Just I'm thinking about the time. Was you going to save it at the end of today I think she's going to need it. Keep it. Can you keep it? And then we'll get the new one next week and then upload it onto there. Okay. And take it away with you. Would that be easier? Yeah?
Okay. Okay. Sounds like there's lots of people that want to. So you want to share what they would provide? Nisha, yes.
How to overcome anxiety and increase your confidence.
How to overcome anxiety, increase your confidence. Fantastic. Anyone else?
How to set goals and develop a strategic plan.
How to set goals and develop a strategic plan. Excellent. Lady there?
Back to basic with health and fitness.
Sorry?
Back to basic with health and fitness.
Back to basic with health and fitness. Thank you. Andrew?
How to achieve something called commercial redemption.
How to achieve something called commercial redemption. Excellent. Anybody else?
Fundraising using social media.
Fundraising using social media. Excellent. Great.
You know, it's development, life training,
Development,
skills training.
life development. But you do webinars anyway, don't you? Excellent.
What is your word?
What is your worth? Excellent.
The
Daphne?
relationship between aggression and the brain, or the brain functions.
Oh, that's a deep one. Say that again.
The relationship between the brain and aggression. You know, your relationship.
Ooh, your relationships. It's a powerful one. Sign up to a webinar.
But it's females, for females, how to deal with men in male-dominated environment.
Ooh. You can't deal with us in a male-dominated environment. You can't deal with women. I want to check. Every time, when I used to do this in the beginning, there's always one woman that takes me literally seriously and complains and just joking. Right, anyone else?
So, how to increase your lead generation?
How to increase your lead generation. Brilliant. Anyone else?
So they're all very highbrow. Can you not use them as how to, I was talking to them about how to learn the basics of drawing or how to...
Yeah, that's an ethical title.
What did she say?
How to learn the basics of drawing. That is your brand, so please don't. It's not yours, was it? Just threw that one in the air.
She was giving me tips about
Yeah.
to basics.
Listen, there's not a wrong or right way. Everyone has, I'm coming to you, everyone has a different niche. There's not a wrong or wrong title. I mean, how many of you attended a webinar and the title wasn't that good, but they were providing value? Yeah. So just, what would happen is you'd create a good title, because the title needs to be important. Anybody else? Want to crack on?
I can come up with a very non-highbrow one. How to grow and plant pumpkin seeds.
There you go. How to grow and plant pumpkin seeds.
Lots of gardeners.
Lots of gardens in here. The social media. How to self-publish your book on Amazon. Anybody else? Couple more for you, Newton.
How to create work-life balance and pursue your dreams.
Wow. Woo! Susie?
Very highbrow.
The fundamentals of scheme technique.
Wow.
How to WA.
How to double your income.
How I've turned my life back.
Brilliant. How to turn my life back.
How to travel for free.
How to travel.
Word.
Whoa! Hey, no pitching allowed in here. Sorry, so is that one there, sorry?
How to reverse aging naturally.
How to reverse aging naturally. There was a woman called, who knows Caroline Howard?
Yes.
A woman called Caroline Howard. And she I think she was at Mark Anastasia's event a few years ago, and she went on stage and she was helping how men can overcome premature ejaculation. Remember that? Who was at the Mark Anastasia's? Remember that? They didn't do the webinar with her in the end. Because how can she do that on a webinar? So they had the same model for Sharon. So she was going to come on stage and deliver to 400 people in the room, and then I think they spoke to her and someone else actually did that. So webinars can only do so much. So they're underrated, and I want to share with you how you can use webinars to treble your income as you sleep. Now, those of you that were thinking about that, is your belief system a little bit more positive now that you could most probably conduct a webinar because you're now thinking, that's a title I've got. Has everybody thought of a title that they could use for their webinar by speaking to the next person? Yeah, most people in here. Brilliant. So, how entrepreneurs, consultants, professional speakers, and business owners can use webinars to benefit your business and boost your profits. Everybody can benefit from using webinars, because you all have a service and a product that you want to get out there. Because you're going to be sharing your expertise with a worldwide audience. I'm not pitching this, by the way, for the single women, so leave me alone at the end of this. This is a social media event. I'm just using this as an example on a serious note. I was holding these webinars for single women all over the world and how they can find and attract the right man. I was giving about an hour presentation, and it was about 20 tips on how they can increase their chances, their self-esteem and outside, and understanding the men's brain and all those kind of things. I had women all over the world conducting, so I know some of you in this room have attended my webinars, I won't put you out. But I'm due to do another one quite soon. But the point I'm saying is, no matter what business you have, you can conduct a webinar. And I was delivering these to all these single women, and they were logging in because you can tell who was logging in. And that gave me the idea to think, well, actually, other businesses and entrepreneurs are saying to me, can you help me with my webinar? And me and Sharon regularly speak at exposure events. And what these are, expos all over the UK, in the Midlands, in London, where we speak at their social media events. And Sharon, every time, interestingly enough, I was speaking there before Sharon, and I used to have about 30 people in my room. So now I've introduced her to them. The last event she had 150, and I had only 10 in my room. Something's not right there. So I was presenting webinars there for the expos, and I'm just applying what I was doing before to the entrepreneurs and the businesses there. So get your pens out. I'm going to show you 8 steps on how to run a successful webinar. I'm going to go over this. Step number 1, first thing that you need to do is, all you need is internet connection, headphones and a mic, PC, laptop, smartphone or Android. That's all you need. If I'm going too quick, let me know. Everybody got that? Okay. Step number 1. Do what I didn't do. Test the audio. Okay, it's very important. How could you test the audio on a webinar? Anybody? Ask the audience. Can you hear me? Hello Susan, hello Caroline, can you hear me? They can type in on chat. They're not physically talking to you on the webinars that I'm talking about here, but they can chat, because what you don't want is 100 people on a webinar and you hear dogs barking and children, all that kind of stuff. So they only can hear you, okay? Ask questions. Have I asked some questions already? How I was with you just now, that was how I would conduct a webinar. Obviously you can't get up and talk on webinars all over the world, but that's how you would do it. So you need to ask questions that are relevant to what you're delivering. So if it's about publishing a book, you might be like, do you know what book you want to write about? Have you written a book before? How many chapters do you want the book? Who's your target audience? Those specific questions you need to ask your audience while you're on the webinar. What other reason is it good to ask questions? Engagement. Exactly. On a serious note, to date, have I got you thinking outside of the box so far? Right. Maybe. Don't come with your women power stuff in here. I know you know that. And request social sharing. Say to them, oh, I'm on Des O'Connor's webinar, talking about webinars on their social media network at that time, and put the link. Is that important? Why is that important, if it is?
Build your tribe.
Build your tribe. Right. Let people know this is what I'm doing, and if you're holding the webinar and you're requesting them to do that, they are in fact promoting your webinar. Does that make sense? So if you've got 100 of them there and 60 of them do it, then there's 60 groups and pages will know about your event for free. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Sorry Des, would you send them to like a sales lead page or the ones
The webinar, what happens is when you get an invitation to the webinar,
yeah,
and you just register, so they will go to that link and register.
right.
Okay?
The next one.
Well, they can attend the live one there.
Oh.
Does that make sense? If it's a go-to-meeting one, they can attend it there and then. So for example, some of you looking confused, we're on this webinar now, this is the webinar now, and I say to everybody, just share that you're on this webinar, and put the link that I originally sent you. The website, the sales page website, that you would have been invited. All your people can then go and click and join it with you.
Right.
You can't send the link that's specific to you, because that's only for you. Does that make sense? That go-to-meeting send you. But when you originally registered, which would have been a sales page or a squeeze page, that is the link that you you cut and paste. But what you need to do is tell them on the webinar, that's what you need to do as well. If you're interested in sharing it, just share the link that you registered originally, and then that will promote it there as well. Does that make sense? Caroline? Good? As well, you can do that. You're going to get someone's going to ask you that as well. So what you could do is just cut and paste the text itself, and they say, hi, I'm on a webinar about blah blah blah. Cut and paste it, put it in there, and just copy and paste that. Thank you, Caroline. I love you reminders. You always keep me on my toes. All about growth, isn't it? And you can connect with them as well. Have I sort of connected with you so far? No? Shall I leave the room? Or too full of myself? It's always a woman that says that. That's your last one, Caroline. Hello?
So when you're saying connect with them, is that explaining your why or your...
Just start talking to them. For example, what's your name, sorry?
Sharon.
Sharon, I would say at the webinar, hands up those of you that are on the webinar, and you can say, hi, this is Sharon from, where do you live? London. And I'd connect with you, hi Sharon, how are you? And just introduce yourself to you and just say, hi, thanks for attending the webinar. And then it encourages everybody else, oh, you're speaking to Sharon, I want to speak to him as well, believe you or not. And it makes them feel good as well. And you can ask them questions as well. Keep the questions going as well. Ask them also, are your slides visible? Can you see my slides? It's very important you ask that. So that's step number one, okay? Everybody got that? And your recording is switched on. There's three things you need to make sure. Your recording is switched on, your audio's on, and your slides are visible. Because you're going to be preparing PowerPoint slides with your presentation. We'll cover this next week. Does that make sense? Everybody with me so far? Who can get PowerPoint slides done up? Right. Who can speak into a microphone? Who has a laptop? Who has a phone? Who has a product? Who could provide value to an audience that are interested in what? Right, that's all you need to, that's it. That's all that needs to happen. So step number two, make sure you have good presentation slides with white background and black text. It's been researched, but it's easier on the eye, and people can absorb it a lot more. Sometimes if you've got loads of different colours, it distorts them. This is what I've been told by the experts. Yeah, some, but I think the majority, there's some pictures on mine, but you know some slides you see, it's just too much, but try and just keep it simple. Try and keep white background and black text. You can use some images, but try and keep it as simple as possible. The welcome. Introduce yourself. Have I introduced myself? Very quickly. And share your vulnerability with them as well. Don't be afraid to I mean, I shared my story that I mucked up on the webinars, but I've now turned it around into something positive as well. When I share my story with, when I'm doing work with the single women, I share that I came out of a very painful divorce and my mum passed away and I had to work on myself. I'm still working on myself to deal with that. So don't be afraid to share, because guarantee you're going to connect with somebody that's on the webinar as well. And people like to buy and invest in people that they like and they can connect as well. Try not to come across as just selling, because we all love those, don't we? So introduction, introduce yourself, tell them your journey, where you've been and how you got to. Keep it very short and sweet. And tell them what the agenda is going to be as well. What you're going to be covering. On this webinar, I'm going to be covering 7 steps on how to, and what your title was. And then break those titles down. So the title that you gave this then, the one thing that you said that you was going to deliver, turn to the person next to you and just very quickly tell them 3 points that are going to support that title that you're going to cover on the webinar. Go. Ten seconds. 10 seconds. Okay. Okay, right. Very quickly, just share one from each one. Somebody share? No one? Obviously didn't talk. No talking. What did you share? What was one?
Acceptance.
You teach perceptance.
And nobody knows what that is, that's why they come on the webinar.
Excellent. Anyone else?
Mindset.
Mindset. Anyone else?
Leveraging time.
Leveraging time. Excellent. You want?
7 traits of highly successful women on boards.
Go on, have a pitch. Go on.
7 traits of highly successful women on boards.
Whoa. And she has a book. Yvonne Thompson at the back. 50% affiliate link there for me there. Anyone else? Come on, guys. What would it be?
For my law students, one of the tips would be how to create an online brand and clean up your social media profile.
Excellent. Whoa. And another serious, this is the time to pitch if you've got something, so make the most of it, because you're not going to get another chance. Anyone else?
How to prepare for and succeed at job interviews.
Brilliant. Hey. Anyone else?
Teach place value to young children.
How to
Teach place value.
place value for young children. Brilliant.
Save time and money on everything you purchase online.
Brilliant. Okay, so now you've got an idea from that title, you've now given it a subtitle underneath that, and you could elaborate on that. Because that title that you just given, I would say to you, what are the 5 benefits of that? And then all you do is you list those benefits and elaborate on that on the webinar. Could you all do that? Yeah? Brilliant. Tell them what to expect. Okay? I just told you there, for example, tell them what they're going to expect from the webinar and get them excited. How could you get them excited in your niche, for example? What could you say on the webinar?
Change your life.
Well, you change your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What you could do is you could say to them, those of you that stay to the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a free gift. Ooh. It's a little cheeky one there, isn't it? Value of £97. But you must stay at the end. What is the advantages of doing that? Anyone else?
They get to listen to all the content.
Right. But the most important thing is you are going to be promoting something at the end of the webinar. Yeah? A product or what you're selling. So you want them to stay at the end. And we know you get a report to say who leaves the webinar before the hour, for argument's sake. So it tells you, so when people drop out, so you can say, you can block you, no more webinars, come to our webinar, but they don't know that. So go to me and send your report, and it tells you to send you the report of the questions they asked as well. And there's a poll as well, and there's a survey you can conduct as well. So do you see how you can create a business, makes it really interesting from that? And somebody other? Steve?
Yes, what's your suggestion for the average length of time at a webinar?
It varies. I mean, I just run an Academy of Relationship Coaching training course, and was it all right, the length? Was it too long, honestly?
No, it's fine.
It was 90 minutes, but I was selling a product for £1,000 at the end. And I believe that I need to provide a lot of value for that, as opposed to something you're selling for £97. Does that make sense? And also, what I was providing was a lot. I mean, I'm training people to come on board and take them to America next year, all that kind of stuff. So I had to deliver a lot more than I was delivering the single women's one, when I was selling something for maybe £97. That makes sense.
So you relate it to the
It depends. I mean, on average, webinars are about an hour, and then you've got Q&A at the end, which usually takes 20 minutes, half an hour at the end. It depends.
Sorry, Des, I know it's a bit out of sequence, but how do you build your audience? Do you then use the blog to see who's actually interested in what you're...
That's the person who speak about that. Okay. There's lots of ways. I mean, I don't want to step on Sharon's toes with her social media, but you have a list, you could do JVs, you can post, there's lots of Facebook groups you can post in. you can tweet, you can ask someone to post it for you. There's lots of ways.
And that's how you build your database to then send out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got people. There's people in the room that support and promote my events. But if you're just starting out, speak to the likes of Sharon, and she can get you the maximum exposure doing that with her tricks with social media. I still don't understand what she does and how she does it. Honestly, I don't. So yeah, if you've got something that you want to get out there quickly and fast and it's of a value, then if you haven't got a list, then she can show you how she can target the relevant lists for that for you as well. With my 50% from that plug there, Sharon. And your story. We all have a story, don't we? Yeah, we have a story, and don't be afraid to share your story on there. Provide your credentials. As I said, I've been on GMTV. I've just come back from America, won an award. I've created lots of weddings and engagements and saving and creating relationships and blah 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 blah. So what are your credentials? Turn to the person next to you and tell them one of your credentials. Go.
I am an award-winning coach.
Okay, credentials, shout them out. Who's got some credentials? Nisha, how did I know you'd be the first one? What is it, my dear?
I won an award with the association that you guys won an award with.
Whoa, round of applause for Nisha.
I've been on radio, I've been in newspapers, I've been shortlisted for overcoming adversity. I'm up for another award, so you guys, please, I'd love to have your votes. I've got some leaflets if I can give those out to you. It's Women to Watch Rising Star by Damsels in Success. So do you know what? All this is just building your expertise and you as a person. So just go out there and do it.
Yay! And she forgot to mention she pays you £10 each for voting for her as well. Anybody else? Credentials? Nobody?
Oh God.
Come on, you must have a Bible of them.
Yeah, just lots of them. I've been a solicitor for 15 years, and for the last 10 years I've been helping solicitors, barristers to become QCs, judges and partners in their law firm. Now law student, it's your turn. I have ninja tactics to help you get your first job in law.
Time up next! Round of applause for Caroline! Thank you.
So I've been in A Journal Wedding Magazine, been on television 3 times. I'm about to go on radio in about a couple of weeks' time, and that's it.
Round of applause, thank you! Don't be afraid to share that, because you know it makes you. If there's 2 people that want to work with you, let's say for example there's somebody that's single and want to find the right partner, and they're looking online and they see I've been to America and I won an award and I've been on TV, and they saw someone that's not, who are they more likely to go with? So share what you've achieved. As you may think it's minor, but it may be massive to somebody out there. Does that make sense? Yeah. Put it down. Get it out there. Your awards, your media coverage, any endorsements, and any struggles you've had as well. Hi.
What if you don't have any awards?
Yeah. Well, you can't put it down.
How do you you've got years of experience and skills?
Well, use that. Use that. Don't lie, because people will suss you out. Yeah? Be honest. Say, okay, put what you just put there. What did you just say?
I've worked in the construction industry in the past 10 years in an environmental environment. So that is my skills and my experience. So how do I, because I don't have any awards.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
There you go. Listen to the audience. Is that enough? Yes. Author of a blog. See? Good. Anyone else? Yeah. No, I don't like her. She's just... Anyone else? Sharon? It's Sharon, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you. Been an accredited practitioner since, alternative practitioner since 1987. Was invited as the only shiatsu practitioner to go out paramedics to Nicaragua. And that goes on and on from there.
Thank you. Round of applause. Right. So you all have endorsements and struggles as well. The content. The main part of the content has to be really high. That's a success story, yeah. Testimonials as well. The main part of the webinar needs to be really interesting. This is the main part of my presentation. Is it interesting? No? So, you need to make it really engaging and interesting and get people exercising and looking within themselves. Okay, remember it's not all about yourself as well. The data. Some people like data, statistics. Some people just like that. I'm not really a big fan of that because I don't know where the root of it's coming from and if it's been tweaked, and then if I'm promoting something that's not right and it comes back to me, then but some people, I've asked, some people just want statistics. So if you can provide backing up data for that, then that's great. Problem solving as well. All your clients has a problem that needs solving. Is that right? Yeah. You're providing an end result, whatever that is. So you need to deliver that in a way that you enable them to want to invest in you as well. Definitely engage with them, keep the engagement going. I'm still engaging with everybody, getting you asking questions, sharing your achievements, making you feel lovely and fluffy and warm. Case studies, like someone said, testimonials, put them down. You just don't know who's searching for you and connects with what you've achieved there as well. And teach them with great content. Do your research. Attend your competitors' webinars. Go to YouTube and type in what your subject is and put the word webinar after it, and I guarantee you'll get hundreds of webinars. Listen to them. Save it on your phone. Save it as an MP3. Listen to it. Pick up ideas. Learn. I'm continually learning all the time. Don't stop. Things are always moving and evolving and changing all the time. So go to YouTube, type in the name of your product, your service, and type webinar after that on YouTube, and you'll be finding lots of webinars that you can free. And provide steps. Do this, then do this, do this, then do that. Like I said, I've got 8 steps, so you know there's another 3 that's coming as well. You can all provide steps, can't you, with your content, yeah? Yeah. Let's keep it simple. And when you're closing, introduce a new problem or challenge. Save one. Does that make sense? Yeah? Give a lot of value, but save one big one at the end, and then establish how you solve the problem for that as well. Introduce the solution, like I've just said. This is the problem, but hey, don't worry about that. Here's the solution to the problem. Yep, everybody okay? I've got a lot more to go through, so I'm going to go through it. List the benefits of your service or product as well. What are the benefits? What will they get once they've invested in you? How's their life going to change from where they are up until now? Testimonials, as I said, keep the testimonials going. Give a guarantee as well. Be very careful with this, because some people, I remember I did an event once where I think I said money back guarantee, and it was a workshop, and I think I had about 10 people in the room. 8 of them didn't do anything for the year, and after a year I get messages saying, I want a refund. Yeah, believe me. But that was when I was first, so I didn't think people would actually do that. So they didn't do anything at all, and then one demanded a refund. I had to get a solicitor involved, and there's laws, and anyway, it got sorted in the end. But just be careful when you're giving your guarantees, and a price breakdown as well. Because one of the good things about that is I now got a lawyer to provide me with a web policies and disclaimers and all that kind of stuff, so it makes it easier. I was very transparent then. So just be careful in the end as well. Look at your competitors' websites to see how they do that as well. Now it's very important when you're on the webinar that there is a call to action, a website that people can go to purchase your products and services. Now with GoToMeeting, what happens is at the end of the webinar, when the webinar has been finished, you can be diverted to a page that you select. Does that make sense? So, if you're holding a webinar and you want people to go to a website that you want them to go to purchase your stuff, you can put in the system, as soon as the webinar is finished, divert them to this page as well. Another thing that you could do as a trick is when they're signing up, let's say, for example, you wanted to give them something free to build more of a list or to sell something. When they sign up for the webinar, there's another page that could be diverted. Because I don't know if you realise, sometimes when you register for the webinar, it goes back to GoToMeeting. You can make that go back to whatever page you want. Does that make sense? Is that powerful to know that? Yeah?
So is that already, like when you set up a webinar, is that going to be there for us? How to divert it?
GoToMeeting. If you go to GoToMeeting, it's all on there. Once they register, and they'll say, where would you want your page diverted after they've signed up? You can go back to GoToMeeting, or you can divert them to a page about you just sharing your story. I wouldn't sell something at that point. Why do you think that's not a good idea?
You're not building that trust.
Building a relationship, and we don't have to be sold to. But it could be something that you're adding more value to what the webinar is going to be about.
So could that be a YouTube link?
Yeah, it
or
could be
a page,
anything you want. That's relevant to what you're delivering. Does that make sense? Yeah? Whatever you want. Yeah. But try not to sell anything. Try not to sell anything, because you may lose. Because if they're upset about that, they're not going to attend the webinar. It's just another way of how you can provide them with more value.
Sorry, guys. Do you also use Text Local to remind them that the webinar is coming up, so they don't forget?
I'm going to come to that. Which makes sense, doesn't it? Who got text from Sharon? Everybody?
No.
No.
Don't bring your phone. Those that have been to my events, who gets texts reminding you about the events and stuff? Right. Okay, we're going to come to that as well. And scarcity. Now what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you're providing a product on the webinar that costs, I don't know, £500 for argument's sake. And it's usually £1,500. What you could do on the webinar is say, the first 20 people on this webinar that sign up now get it for £500. After that, it goes back up to £1,500. So you're providing scarcity, and you're providing a time scale, because if they don't do that on the webinar, they're going to miss out. So if you've got those that are 50-50, they're more likely to sign up because they want to save £1,000.
Is it genuine?
Yes, I'm a genuine guy, am I?
No, quite often, but I always done when they say,
I have
because
no...
it's built in, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying generally, this is the cost of it, but if you sign up now, you get it for that, and I always wonder if it's real.
I cannot answer that question, unfortunately.
It's all made up. It's made up.
Some are genuine, it's like everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some are, it's for you to check it out. But I'm talking on the webinar itself, there itself. And some bonuses, some fast action bonuses. If you've got some bonuses that you could give, it might be an MP3, like an audio. You just, if you go to Audacity, AUDACITY, it's a free audio program where you just talk in there, and they send you back the file. It's free, and then you could record a half-an-hour tips on there as a bonus on top of what you're providing when you're selling at the end. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah. What was that website?
AUDACITY. It's a free audio software that you can record there. We're going to cover that next week. AUDACITY. Audacity.
Oh, Audacity.
You know it? I'll stand at the back of the room, definitely. Right. Questions and answers. It's very important that you have a Q&A, because it proved that it works. To prove that it works. And congratulate the buyers. Take the questions and the answers at the end. Now, when you start to do more and more webinars, what you're going to find is that there's a pattern of the same types of questions you're going to get asked all the time. It's usually about half a dozen of the same questions. I actually tested this when I was working with the single women, and I tested this when I was working with the webinar, so it wasn't me putting down the women, but there usually are the top 6 questions. List those questions prior to the webinar, and if nobody asks them, you bring it to the equation, because they may not have thought of to ask that at that time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It makes you be perceived more as an expert, and also it provides more value. You may think, oh, I didn't think of that question. Or, for example, one of the common questions might be, is there a payment plan, for argument's sake? So if you're selling something for £500, they may think, oh, I want to do it, but can I pay over 3 weeks or 6 weeks? So then you may say, oh, yes, here is a payment plan, you can pay over 6 weeks or whatever. Does that make sense? Yep. And congratulate the buyers as well. Give them significance as well. Congratulate them. And your final thoughts and goodbyes. Leave it open. Has anybody else got any more questions? And then say thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you. What are you going to do now? You're going to take action. And if anybody's purchased your product there and then, acknowledge them on the webinar. What's your name, sir? Alan. Andy. Thank you, Andy. I've seen that you just purchased the product. Thank you. There's only 17 places left, and there's 123 of you on the webinar. Do you think that'll call some response there? And he's now getting it for £500. But if you register, if you come and contact me tomorrow, it's going to be £1,500. Human QVC, maybe. Okay. And what else could you do with the webinar recording? Anybody? Sell it.
Transcribe it.
Transcribe it.
Replay.
9 things that you can do with the webinar replay to make money while you're asleep. Who wants to know about that?
Yeah.
Now there's 2 types of webinars. There's the live webinar that most of you use, which is with GoToMeeting, and there's what we call is an automated webinar where it's pre-recorded. Not a lot of people are aware of that one. For example, I train up people to become relationship experts, and I have an automated webinar. What I've done is I've recorded it, and it's now there accessible to people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They just go and log on. There's a couple of people in the room that's on my course, and they've attended the webinar for that as well. So as I'm speaking to you now, people are registering for my webinar. I don't have to do it live. Does that make sense? So there's 2 types, which I'm going to cover. So you've recorded your webinar with GoToMeeting. They send you the replay. Is that powerful?
Yeah.
Right. But you need to know what to do with that when you get that. They send it to you as a certain file. You need to know what to do with that, to convert that, to make it go to YouTube or to create it into products, for example, as well. So there's some of the products that I've made. 7 ways on how to date the right partner, and I've got a DVD, 21 steps on how to find the right man. And that was a 2-hour webinar that I've made into a DVD. Does that make sense? So that's what I've been doing for creating for clients as well. So you send a replay to the non-attendees. Now when people register for your webinar, not everybody, I think there's I think it's 40% or 50% don't turn up. So they register, and for whatever reason, they can't make the webinar, the live webinar. So what do? You don't just say bye. In the system, you can go on there and you can type the text how you want it to be. So it could be, for example, hi Yvonne, I see that you registered to attend my webinar today. Unfortunately, I see that you've missed the webinar, but don't worry, here's a replay. Is that powerful? So she's already showed me she's interested, but things get in the way, so she couldn't attend that. But in the system, you can type it within the software that sends that out to her. It's pre-programmed. All the people in one go. So you haven't got to do them individually, it sets it up that way. So you can send the replay to non-attendees. Use the questions and polls to your advantage. At the beginning of the webinar, you have the opportunity to conduct a survey and to ask specific questions for your business. Now think about what you would really want to know about your potential clients before the webinar starts. Think about that. You have the opportunity to ask that. You get that report sent to you after the webinar. Is that powerful to have?
Yes.
And it's for free. So the first 30 days are free. Send the replay to attendees, especially the ones that left the webinar early. It tells you who's left early as well.
Sorry, Des, I'm confused. When you say use the question of cost to advantage, finding out about my niche market, can you give an example and what do I do with it?
What would you really want to know? Say, for example, you have a webinar, there's 100 people on there. What one question would you really want to know about them before the webinar? What would you want to know?
Why they fail in life, maybe?
And what would you do with that information?
Pardon?
And what would you do with that information?
Maybe list, maybe of...
And it will help you to provide a solution to that problem.
Right, okay.
Does everybody understand that? Yeah?
And you do those polls throughout the webinar.
To propose throughout the webinar, and you can conduct a survey before. So, for example, I may say, 10 minutes, I may say, for a single women's one, how long have you been single for? So I know the women that say over a year are more likely going to be the women that are serious and action takers, as opposed to the ones that have just been single for 3 months. Does that make sense? Have you been divorced? Yes. So I know that, okay, I can have a rapport with this person because they're divorced as well. Does that make sense? Yeah? Text in the replay using Text Local. Okay, TEXT-LOCAL. It's a automated mobile marketing. You know, you get those texts where it's got the person's name on it. So some of you might have Des O'Connor on it, and then it's got a text, or you could do it with a mobile. That's a software that you can use. Email them snippets of the webinar. Get the webinar broken down and email them snippets of it as well. Create digital products such as DVDs, CDs, ebooks, and transcribed. Get your webinar transcribed. What we mean by that is get somebody to type up your webinar, and then you can create that and make that into an ebook, and then you can sell that. Does that make sense? Yep. I got over this quickly, but these are lots of the things that you can do.
Oh, can you go back?
Sorry. I have staff that does that for me.
You get it done by 5.
Can you do joint webinars?
Yeah, the question's a good question. Can you do a joint webinar with somebody else? Most definitely. Definitely, you could do a joint webinar with somebody, and if they both promote to your lists, and then you both split the money, and then do the same thing for yours. Does that make sense? People always want to. Who would be interested in doing a JV with someone if they had a list and they were willing to split 50% with you? Look around the room, everybody. Right, that's the question. Okay, brilliant. You can also provide a webinar series program online course. For example, I'm training up my team to be relationship experts. There's going to be a membership area where there's more added value to them on a continuous basis. So if you provide training and you're providing value, get a webinar. Once you've done lots of webinar recordings, you can create that into an online program membership site, where that means that people can access that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're getting paid at the time when they're doing it. Does that make sense? Who's used a membership site before and paid? Who's used the gym and not gone and paid? Same thing as you're providing value as well. I'm actually going to do one for webinars as well. Membership site, as I just said. And automated webinars. And I mainly work with, there's a lot of companies and entrepreneurs that want to do automated webinars. And what automated webinars are is that you've just recorded your webinar, it's uploaded to a page, and people can go and access that. Very similar to GoToMeeting, but you're not there. So let's say, for example, I've got people that want to train to be relationship experts. If you go to, I'll show you an example. I can't get online for some reason. I will show you the page. Academy of Relationship Coaching.co.uk. I'm not selling that, I'm just showing you what can be done. So You'll see that there's a screen, and there's a 1 minute clip for a woman telling you about what the webinar is going to be about. And on the right hand side, they just register for the day and the time that they want to attend the webinar, and that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, globally. The advantages of that is that's a business in itself running. Does that make sense? GoToMeeting, you're restricted because with the automated webinar, you can add video testimonials in there. You can add video supporting, for example, when my clients were training up, there was samples of singles and couples that had problems within their relationship within the automated webinar. With GoToMeeting, you can't add that in. You've just got to deliver the slides as they are now. Does that make sense?
What's the site for the automated?
There's loads of them out there. I provide them now. There's O'Connor's webinars. I provide them as well. Yeah. So if you've got a product that you want to deliver, I help people just record it. I'm not going to sell anything, by the way, but I help people record it, get it out there. Once you record it once, that's your business and your product's there. And we just promote it out there for you. I'll show you how to do it. The slides and the presentation and everything as well. That's it. That's the Academy of Relationship Coach. That's an example. That's what I created. I recorded a 90-minute presentation, and then people go along there, and then they sign up. They want, and I'm sitting there, and that's how you get paid when you're sleeping. Does that make sense? Do you understand how you can do that? Main webinar software is GoToMeeting.com. The first 30 days are free. So how would you like to deliver an introduction to your business and your professional skills, receiving good quality leads to follow up, targeting your audiences, finding the people who are most interested in, most likely to buy from you, and getting paid while you're asleep by selling information products like DVDs and downloadable content? Who's interested in that? I'm not going to say anything. What I'm going to do is first of all, was that important information? Did you enjoy that? Yes. Sure? Yes. Brilliant. Right, so what I'm going to do for the first 5 people, scarcity, remember? No, I'm only joking. Who would like a free 20-minute consultation from me? Just Nisha. Okay. There you go. Fill in that form and I'll give you a free. Anyone else? Pass those around. And you're under no obligation. What happens is I just give you a 20-minute conversation. Anybody else? Sorry. You pass those around. Sorry. Fill those in. We have a conversation, and I'll give you a consultation. And then if you want me to help you, I can help you. I'll provide you with a quote. If you don't, it's still fine. I can still give you the free tips, whatever you know. So if you can fill those in. Any questions before I'm going to wrap up now, because Sharon's going to come back on now. So.
Just one question actually. In relation to promoting the webinar, is there a certain, do you promote for 6 weeks? Do you promote for 4 weeks? You know, is there a set, or is it?
How many of you attended a webinar? I mean, had a webinar introduced to you 3-4 weeks before, and you've forgotten about it? Yeah. Right. Try and keep it about no longer than about a week. Yeah, because it's in the person's mindset. If it's too long, you're just going to forget. With GoToMeeting, they do send reminders as well, like 7 days, 24 hours, an hour before, things like that as well. Thank you. Yeah.
It's just an observation of something that I've noticed that the pros doing recently is having like an administrator or a co-presenter doing all the interaction with the guests, and you can then just concentrate on providing your content. That works really well.
Thank you, Caroline. And that's exactly what I would do for you as well. Can you also fill in how urgently do you need them as well? 1 to 10. So if 10 is like, now! Or 1 is like, I'm not really bothered. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would, basically, who would like to have a webinar set up and all they need to do is just speak on a microphone, and all the slides are done, and all you do. That's what I can do for you as well. Sort your slides, help you deliver it, and set it all up for you. And I will also promote it to my list for you as well. Ooh. I've only got 10 people though. It's a joke, by the way.
The question about point number 1, those 9 points, send the replay to non-attendees. Is there a point adding like, there's a link, but it will be available only for 72 hours?
Scarcity.
Yeah.
Yes. You can do that as well. Because that way,
point does it prove?
Yeah, what happens is people will sign up because they don't want to miss out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good question. Next, please. Anyone else? Thank you. Sharon, are you mic'd up? I bet you're not mic'd up, are you? Can you get mic'd up, please, or just use this one? Christian, yeah, before Sharon comes.
Best time of day to most productive when people sign in or watch webinars?
It varies, because that's why automated webinars are so good, because people can choose the time when, for example, my webinars from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. every hour for the automated. But GoToMeeting, for example, and it depends on your niche. What's your name, sir? Sue. Depends on your niche. For example, when I was working with single women, it tended to work an evening, 8 o'clock and a 9 o'clock. And why do you think that is? After work? Kids are in bed. Children. Most of the women that I work with have children. So put the children to bed about 8 or 9 or whatever. She could be a single parent, and that way it works around that as well. She may register, but she's still going to get the replay back sent after.
It's something you could split test as well.
Yeah. Depends on your. For example, most webinars, business webinars, they say to avoid Sunday, but Sundays work for me because of the situation. So do the research. Look at what your competitors are doing, and then if they keep doing it, it's working.
Sorry, I've just got one more question actually. You know, when signing up to some of these webinars, you get, particularly if it's a global webinar, you get the Pacific time and the GMT time. One of the things that really annoys me is when I have to look up my own time.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to know how you can help your target market by giving them that information.
The software that I have sorts that out. So if you're in Singapore or America, it recognises that and it gives you access to that as well. Does that make sense? Yeah. There's some that do that and some that don't, but I'll provide that. Thank you for your time. I hope that was valuable. Yeah. Please fill the forms in. Just give it to us. Just fill it all in, as much information. I'll contact you. Please put your mobile and your email in caps. I need to read it. And I'll contact you Monday onwards for a 20-minute consultation, telephone or Skype. And let's welcome Sharon back to the stage. Thank you very much. What we can do is, I'm just setting up Sharon, just turn to the person next to you and tell them one thing you're going to do working towards conducting your first webinar. One positive thing. Thank you. Go!
Remember I was talking to you about the TWEBs? Yes? Okay. Remember I was talking to you about the twabs? Yeah? Okay. So, who hashtags when they're tweeting or on social media? Okay. I'm not going to ask Julie, because Julie does it the best, okay, right now. So, I'm not going to ask Julie, sorry. Krista, what do you, where's the mic? Marius, have you got the mic? Oh, okay. Tell me how you hashtag, please. Listen, guys, I just want to say, when I'm giving you back, how can I say, when I'm coming back at you with feedback or making a point, it's always coming from a place of love, yeah? It's not criticizing, it's not mockery, it's actually just telling, it's being rhetorical, or it's just telling you how it is, yeah? Or how it's being perceived. Is that okay to do that, yeah? So I'm going to look at you as though I'm a novice, and how I would be perceiving you on the outside if you were typing or tweeting or composing messages when I ask you a question. Is that okay to do that? Yeah? So how do you hashtag?
So I normally just write a post.
Give me an example of what you post today.
I recently started a page on love and gratitude because I published it. Yes, I recently started a page on love and gratitude because I've created some journals on that. So when I publish a post, I will say, oh, check this video, check out this guy, he's really very inspiring. And I explain whatever I think about.
How do you hashtag? What is the hashtag? What's the sentence that you, or the post, or what do you put? Give me the example. Do you understand the question? Yeah? What do you put? So today, I've put on my post, for example, I'm feeling great, and I've hashtagged great. Yeah? What do you put?
Also, check out this guy's video and hashtag gratitude.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, who else wants to share how they hashtag? Please. Sorry?
I'm launching a site, an online site.
No, just how do you hashtag?
Okay, so how to organise your bedroom. I hashtag bedroom, and then I've got my own hashtag, which I understand I need to own. But I do hashtag one little known way to clean.
One
little known way to clean.
One
little known way to clean.
Okay, so that would be the hashtag that you register. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah?
right, yeah.
That would be the one that you register.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Can you pass them back, please? Where's Marios? Making me fall in these hills. Go ahead.
So I hashtag the area in which my estate agency is, so that would be Chiswick and then W4. So I use that hashtag Chiswick, hashtag W4.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Anyone else want to share? Pass, please.
Hi. I do a Facebook post on health tips, and then my hashtag is It's a Gail Thing.
That's great.
That's from Gail.
That's a really good one. Okay?
Yeah, my hashtag was there's a kind of enjoying a really good talk on webinars, hashtag webinar, hashtag Des O'Connor.
Round of applause for that. Come on, round of applause for that.
And then my next tweet would be fantastic seminar on blogging by Sharon Helix, hashtag Sharon Helix, hashtag making money, hashtag social media, is that enough? Michael Peters, TMO talks to his
Oh, I thought you were Michael Peters.
No.
Oh, yes.
An imposter.
What's Carol?
She couldn't make it.
Oh, okay, she checked that. Right. As to that, Michael, I'm going to criticise your hashtag. The concept here is absolutely correct, okay? And when you're composing a message, only 2 hashtags a message, okay? Because it gets ridiculous otherwise, right? I'm hashtag having, hashtag a good time, hashtag day, hashtag. Have you seen that? Yeah. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. It's not relevant. And do you know what hashtagging actually does? Okay, it crowds. Julie, what does a hashtag do? Considering that you're the expert.
For me, a hashtag gets me in front of an audience that's searching for that hashtag.
Yeah.
And what I've discovered, if I hashtag London and hashtag networking separately altogether, it just gets retweeted everywhere.
Yeah. And everybody that's talking about networking and everybody that's talking about London are crowded in that conversation. Does that make sense? So, imagine hashtagging social media. Do you know how many people are talking about social media? Millions. Yes? They're very powerful. So your tweet will get picked up. Yeah?
So it needs to be what?
No, it needs to be relevant. Relevant to what your post is about. So if you want to put, I hashtag ate a bagel, people might be talking about bagels, but it might not be as relevant as something as I hashtag went to a webinar and watched, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, do you understand? Yeah?
I don't have a hashtag, never have done. Heard about it for the first time today. And so I just want you to tell me what a hashtag is.
Right, we're going to get to that. I wish you guys would be a bit patient. So, a hashtag is the... Who wants to describe what a hashtag looks like on a laptop or on a...
Yes.
It's a hashtag. It's a hashtag. What's the present sign? It's a pound sign, that sign.
The number sign.
The number sign, yeah?
It's called a hashtag.
Yeah? When you hashtag, and we're going back to the TWABs now, we're going to go to twabs.com. I've hashtagged everything that I think is relevant to me. So my name, social media, award-winning social media expert, award-winning social media expert UK, blogging going viral, my acronym for my website, making money using social media, they're all mine. I've registered them and they're all mine. So when you, and I'm going to show you this live shortly, when you go to Google and you type in making money using social media, that's long. I don't know why I chose that, but I was only playing around when I did the page. It wasn't real. By the way, the story that I told about me generating all that money and how it happened, for those that were actually there on the day, was that how it went?
Yes.
That's exactly how it went. That's exactly how it went. So that was, when you type in MMUSM, I think, yeah, everything to do with me comes up. Every tweet, everything that I've ever done, everything about me online comes up. So it's important to register hashtags. So when you type in Julie's BTWL, her meetup group comes up, and all the things about her comes up. When you do yours, you do 7 traits, hashtag Trevor Thompson, hashtag all these things, and everything about you will come back. Same with you, price, psychotherapy, all these things, and you just hashtag them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Register your hashtag. There are other sites that you can register them to, and I will give you those later. Okay?
Can I just ask?
Free, it's all free. Everything, all the material and all the information, everything that I give you to do this, to get viral, you're not going to pay any money for this. Yeah? All the resources are free.
Can I ask a question? Well, I was a social worker, now retired, left that. My health and relationship coach, would that be relevant?
Yeah, because it's something to do with yourself. Sorry, you're saying?
So if you register a hashtag and someone else tries to use it, or someone does the same thing without knowing,
It will be taken. It won't come, they won't be able to do it because it'll be taken.
So what if you don't register it, you just use it?
Nothing happens, it's just one hashtag. So if I hadn't registered my name, for example, and you guys had retweeted me, it wouldn't carry as much weight from an SEO perspective, from a social media perspective, and so on. Yeah?
Is this solely for Twitter? Or do you
All social media platforms it carries, it goes viral on. Okay?
Is that because it's just how people that company set up?
It's a platform. Are we listening? It's a platform that is picked up on all social media platforms. Because when you hashtag, you can hashtag on Instagram, you can hashtag on LinkedIn, you can hashtag on Twitter, Google Plus, Facebook. So it's picked up everywhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Following me? Yeah? So you've got too many tweets, too many hashtags in your tweets. Only 2. Yeah? Because people get lost and they will lose interest.
Yeah.
Let's get back to choosing your perfect niche. We're blogging, and some people aren't prolific bloggers or don't know what to do with their blogging or don't know how to blog, and they don't know what to blog about. So we want to choose the perfect niche to blog in, okay? So I'm going to ask you all to find a page in your workbook, and we're going to do a very quick exercise that's going to allow you to choose your perfect niche.
So just choose a page, any page. A blank page. Okay.
Is there a blank page?
Yes, please. So if you can turn to the person next to you, preferably somebody that you don't know. Okay, so you get this and basically, when you're choosing the perfect niche, you want to ascertain that you're getting the right information to the right audience. Okay? And you need to brainstorm your idea about how you're going to get this niche. Does that make sense? Yeah? So this is the first thing I want you all to do, please. I want you to make a list, a very short list, it's not going to take 2 minutes max, if that, of the hobbies and the things that interest you the most. This is the part of the first exercise, okay? So things that interest you the most. So just list, not even 2 minutes, a minute. Just do that. And then compare that with the person next to you, please. So,
Does it have to be specific?
no, this is just an example.
Oh,
So, for example, relationships, whatever you're interested in, from a business perspective, it can be whatever you're interested in. Pardon?
What about fun?
Anything, hobbies, cooking, reading, surfing. Think of 5. There has to be anything. Have you done that? Okay. Now, make a list of all the accomplishments that you've achieved. That can't be hard. So, weight loss, financial achievements, rewards, if you're talented in an area, if you've got a specific hobby. Mister on the phone, are you doing it?
I'm looking at what?
No, you're not allowed to. Listen, if you do that, I'm not going to give you any resources. It's going to ruin it for everyone. Because I know that people are going to check them out. Seriously. I'm going to give you a lot of information. I don't want you, because it will slow us down. Yeah, seriously, don't ruin it.
Yeah, tell him off.
I've got a lot of websites I want you to check out, and you'll be here all day. Have you done that?
Still going, really. So,
Now make a list of any of the difficulties that you've overcome and defeated. For me, it was depression, postnatal depression, anxiety, panic. Now I've got to do that V-life thing. Put on a lot of weight, Andrew, haven't I? No, me. I used to be 55 kgs. Wow. Once upon a time. 4 kids later. Okay. Now, hang on. Have we all done this? Have you all got an answer for every part of that exercise? Yeah? Nisha's still writing, so Lisa.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, the difficulties is easy.
Yeah.
Too many of them.
You done that?
Yeah, I got my way. Sorry.
Okay. You'll get a better feeling of the topics that resonate with you. Do you find that, now that you've done that? And the topics that are close to your heart and that you're passionate about? Have you found that during this exercise? Anyone want to share?
I'm really happy to share. I also talk for England.
I know. 1 second though, what were you shaking your head about, Fahima? No, seriously.
Oh no, I was actually struggling to write my list because I was just thinking.
Keep going, don't stop.
Which one should I? Which one do you want to know?
No, you keep writing, Julie's going to talk, and then I'll come back to you, and then let's do something.
Okay, the first list that I came out with, I put into 2 lines. So the first set was networking, business goal setting, influence, standards, leadership, empowering others.
Can you hear Julie at the back? No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Too fast.
Oh, no, it's not on, is it? Is it on?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, first list was networking, business, goal setting, influence, because I know Cialdini, standards, leadership and empowering others. The second list on the first list was things like plants, garden, wildlife, the elderly, holidays, travel, the sky and clouds. The second bit, I've got awards, qualifications, the fact that I have changed major careers 3 times, my house, partner, mum, networking results and experience. And then the third bit I always struggle with because I've had a bit of a, in some respects I always say it's a charmed life. So I haven't ever hit rock bottom. I haven't ever had any major health illnesses. And the only thing, well now I'm going to cry, I could come up with was last year.
But that's it, apart from that.
Thank you for sharing that. You're strong. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm going to connect you with Des because he's like that. His anniversary of his mum's coming up, so he's exactly like that, and I was telling him about you. You're very brave for sharing that. Thank you, Julie.
Okay, so my list of hobbies, things that interest me the most, is what makes people successful, what inspires and empowers people to actually make a change and make a difference and do something different. I love floristry, travel, cooking, personal branding, self-development. Accomplishments I've achieved, I'm an NLP Master Practitioner. I've run the largest graduate programme for the 2nd largest bank in the world. I'm still in touch with quite a lot of those graduates, and I travel and help them celebrate getting married, so I'm still connected with them. I trekked the Great Wall of China, and one of the proudest accomplishments I've achieved, I overcame breast cancer last year.
Wow, fantastic. Oh, well done, thank you. That's amazing, that's amazing. Do you see when you write it down how powerful it is, what comes close to your heart, and how it is easier to find out what you really want to write about? Does it make it easier?
Yeah.
Do you share anything? Come on, you're brave. You can do it. Mic up a bit.
I'm an ex-teacher, primary, and I stopped that a couple of years ago because of my anxiety and agoraphobic and everything. But knowing what I wanted to write about, on my website I wanted to. My website is starting business online, and I went through a lot of taglines of that. But eventually, I settled on earning an income and having a business, as well as having social anxiety disorder, and that I can talk about. I know what that's like, and it makes sense, and the words just come, and the feelings come, and people connect with me. And I've put down one of my biggest achievements is to get in here, get in the world.
Thank you. I know Jackie was really nervous about coming today, and we've been talking and communicating, and I've been SMSing, and she's been ignoring me because it's quite overwhelming for her, and I was agoraphobic. I couldn't even go into a shop or people, and it was awful. I know the feeling, and anxiety. Oh my goodness. I still get a bit like it sometimes, so I can relate. Sitting like this, you've never got a chance. I'm telling you, no way. Just need to. I was, wasn't I? Changed overnight. Overnight, my whole life changed.
So the things that I enjoy very much and passionate about, singing, acting, health and wellness is going over some years now. I'm a young boy still, got me. Piano, I love playing piano. Salsa.
Anyone want to dance?
UK champion, but that's alright, that's enough to do. I love assisting people in reaching their weight goals that I guarantee them. That's one of the things I've been very passionate about over the years. Things to do with the mind, personal development, connected with our spiritual selves, all these sorts of things. So there you go, to name but a few. And things that I've achieved. Well, I managed to perform as a guest entertainer on the Royal Caribbean for a number of years, theatres up and down the country, personal training. I work in quite prestigious studios up in
So,
Central London.
Newton, you don't blog?
I know, I've been criticised many a time.
So do you think you can blog based on what you've written?
Well, yeah, as I'm talking about it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get the mic.
Yeah, so thank you.
And also...
You share the mic, I'll be here all day otherwise.
Can we just pass this to Sharon, and then I'm going to go move on, because I've got a lot of stuff I want to cover with you. Yeah, we're running a bit late, so I want to hurry up, because I know that your belly must be rumbling.
Okay, well, we're on the same theme, I think. The things that I love, travel, food, theatre, cultures, beaches, swimming, music, dancing, acting, health, feeling healthy. Aikido is singing, riding, inspiring others, and knowing I've made a difference. Some of my achievements, well, you heard about going to Nicaragua. I also helped set up 3 health centres there. I set up a Brazilian dance troupe, called Alegria. We won first, second and third prizes at the Conto de Samba in the South Bank, and we toured and did loads of stuff on TV. Difficulties overcame. when I was 28, I had a terrible riding accident. I was paralysed from the waist down for 3.5 months in Faro Hospital. But then I, got back and got myself together. Thought I'd better learn what I'd done to myself and became a shiatsu practitioner. Hence going to Nicaragua. And I've survived a very abusive childhood, become an incredible mentor and teacher. And while I was in Portugal, I was also helping tourists. And I've saved many tourists from some horrific situations. And one of them was when I was stuck in a car, being kidnapped with a gun to my head, and I managed to talk the gunman from stop doing Russian roulette, get the tourists out of the car, and get things sorted. So I think I did all right.
Okay, we're going to need a few coaches after this session. Pass that mic. Thank you very much, Sharon, for sharing that too. Okay, so we've already established that we've got something to talk about, I think. Yes? You see how easy it is to find something to talk about just by breaking it down just like that? Have you all got something we can write about?
Yeah.
Something that resonates with us?
Yeah.
Something that our audience wants to read?
Yeah.
Because we need to basically solve problems. When we go online, there's somebody that wants to read about us because each and every one of us has a story to tell. And somebody wants to hear about that story. And somebody wants to read our success story and how we can make a difference to them. And if we can do that through the content we provide them, they're going to come back. Does that make sense? Listening to Julie's story, listening to the Sue's story, Sharon's story, seriously, any of you want to go back to the blog and read it again, based on what happened next? If you dangle the carrot, I always use this example. When Apple launch a phone, okay, they just dangle the carrot. And what I mean by that is they just give you enough to let you know that, listen, everybody wants a new iPhone 7. We don't even know what it does. Yeah?
I love Android.
Well, we all want the iPhone 7 for the sake of the presentation. Okay? Yeah, I'm an Android user too. Okay? But Apple dangle the carrot to say, listen, it's coming out. You don't think they have a list of people that want it already? And it's enough to create awareness because of trust, brand loyalty, and so on. And people want to come back to them all the time. The same with your content, the same with your reputation when you're online. Does that make sense? Yeah?
For the benefit of the public, how long should it be?
I'm going to get to all of that as well. So, I'm going to say that if there's competition in your niche, everybody's got a story, and there'll be very many similar stories: anxiety, depression, breast cancer, bereavement. But that's a good thing, because if you haven't got any competition, then there's no awareness for what you're talking about. And the way to search for your niche, one of the ways to do that is to go to, I'm going to use social media, in this instance Twitter, and search for your niche in the Twitter box. Yeah? Do you understand what I mean when I say that?
No.
Who said no? So, for example, you go to Twitter and you type in anxiety. As with Facebook as well. If there's at least 1,000 people following that hashtag or that trend, there's an interest. Does that make sense? Yeah? There's an interest.
Should your niche be an available hashtag?
No. Like, what's your niche?
My niche would be developed.
Right. Huge niche. Micro niche it now.
So cut it down.
Yes.
Stress.
Again.
Anxiety.
A bit more.
Phobias.
Right. Now you see? So you can talk about, oh my God, the thought of it, I've got phobias, I don't even think about the word. Seriously, I need help in that area. And just thinking about that, I can't even talk about it. Yeah? So they're the areas that you want to search on social media and look at what people are reading. They're the areas that people want help in. I'm dying to just type in the word, and I'm just trying to.
So I could end up with 50 niches in that list.
Many. Yeah? Write about it because people want help in those areas. I'm going to just leave you with a competition checklist before we break for lunch. This is something that if you have a phone or you want to take it down, you can write this down. Whoops. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. You can find your blogs currently by targeting your niche. Okay? You need to see if they're active on Twitter or Facebook. If there is at least five areas of interest in your niche, then you have an area to talk about. Does that make sense? Yeah? So 5 areas of, like 5 posts about your niche. So 5 people speaking about phobias and 5 people speaking about sense and things like that.
And are you talking about the first page of the Google search box?
No, I'm talking about Twitter. I'm not even mentioning Google yet. Yeah? So I'm talking about Twitter, I'm talking about Facebook. I'm going to show you live afterwards how I'm using it. Check people's Twitter accounts. So if you came to my Twitter account, you would see that I'm always posting about social media, the latest changes, what's happening, and so on. Caroline, you're a teacher. Okay, so I would put teaching. And what type of teacher are you? Music and drama teacher, so I'd niche it down to music and drama. Or would I put performing arts? What would you want me as your reader to put? Performing arts. So your blogging title or niche would be performing arts. That's what you would search on social media. And you would see how many people are blogging about that, and that's the trend or the following that you would join. Okay? And you would see who's your competition in that niche. Does that make sense? Yeah? Sorry.
Not just ask, are you aiming to be specific or general?
It's up to you. How specific do you want to be? How do you want to be perceived? Do you not want to be the expert in that niche? Do you not want to be positioned as the go-to person in that niche? Look, there's so many people doing social media out there, right? I talk about how to make money using social media without spending money. That's my niche. We haven't spent any money yet, have we? No. Okay, but I'm going to show you a lot more on how to spend money, how to get going without spending money. It's going to pick up a lot more after lunch, yeah? Yes?
So Sharon, something like depression is too big. How would you niche it?
Well, is it personality disorder? Is it anxiety? Is it manic? Is it clinical? Is it postnatal? Is it what type of depression is it? And you really go right down. Yeah? Do not be phased out by the numbers. If you go to a Facebook page and you see a niche of someone that's talking about depression, there's so many people that are depressed, and they've set up pages and blogs, and there's maybe 16,000 people on that. That's a huge interest, yeah? If they can do it, then so can you. No, not on Facebook, you can't do that. Before, people used to buy fans on Facebook, yeah? To increase the numbers.
Does it change now?
Now, Facebook, by the way, I'm trained by Facebook, so everything I teach you is current and up to date, okay? Everything that stays up, like, say for example, you can go to Fiverr.com and buy, I don't know, 5,000 fans and up your numbers and it looks, wow, great. When you go into the insights of your page, it does nothing, right? There's no movement, there's no, yeah? What will actually happen is that they're called bots, BOTS, and Facebook will now remove them for you. They don't allow that, okay? People say to me, oh, have you really got a following of 180,000 people? Well, today I'll show you, because I'll take you into my insights and I'll show you the activity. I don't feel like I have to justify that to anybody, but I will show you today because you've come to me and I'm going to show you how important it is to engage with your followers. Because if you don't, your numbers go down, and if you do, you get green arrows going up. Yeah?
Do they, with Facebook, do they,
And you'll also get banned and shut down if you do that. Yeah? So don't buy fans, please.
do they put more significance on comments?
Comments and shares.
So just comments and shares
Yeah.
versus likes?
Yeah. Comments and shares is what goes viral now on Facebook.
Comments and shares.
Yeah? Actually, likes do count as well.
Yeah, people like it, you know, it's a post, can't you?
No, it doesn't it doesn't make any difference on the algorithm anymore. No. Okay. So this is your checklist, and you look for Facebook pages, and again go to Great Leaders. Minimum of 1,000 followers. You'll find that. Ooh. Yeah. You want that? Only you. Okay. Make a note that you want the competition checklist, and those that email me will get it within 24 hours. If you don't email me, you will not receive it. Yeah? Is that fair?
What about using Skype and emailing as
I don't mind you, I'll do you, yes. Me that we talk all night. She asked me when do I go to sleep. Okay, who has struggled with thinking about what to post online? Really?
I was on Margaret Lynch's, you know Margaret Lynch?
No.
I was on a rock star, and I didn't like the term rock star anyway, but I used to write a lot on it, and sometimes people, you have just a few comments, and it's sort of, especially I like to talk about the brain, and some people don't like it.
You need to connect with Sonia if you like talking about the brain.
I love the brain, I love the
Okay, can I just say something before we break for lunch, if that's okay? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going to forget. We're talking about what we like to post online, and we don't know where to go. Today, I'm going to give you so much information about where you can get current trending topics online. Who knows what's trending right now online? Tell me. Be specific. Okay.
Intuitive tell you when you go to the search terms.
Yes,
tells you what's
that's correct.
FA Cup.
Be more specific. What are people talking about on Facebook right now?
FA Cup final.
Don't let Des hear you say that. Yeah? Okay, anything else? What were people talking about 2-3 weeks ago? So what would have been the best thing to post on your Facebook to get some shares?
Your personal manifesto.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you, who seriously, I was interested. When Kate had her baby, who wanted to know what she was going to call the baby? See, I wanted to know. I was looking out for it, seriously.
I wanted Diana in the name.
I mean, she looked really nice when she came out of hospital, just minutes after birth. Wow, you should see me after birth. Yeah, I mean, that's what was trending though. That's what people were talking about. Yeah? That was hot news. I'm not going to ask you to because I've already told you. Do you know what's trending right now on social media? Charlie? Okay, we're going to break for lunch and go and look up Charlie.
That's not fair.
Charlie.
That's called Dave.
No. You'll kill me. Okay, give me 3 seconds.
Charlie Whitney.
Charlie, it goes like this. Charlie, if you're in the room, say yes. That's hot right now. Have you looked it up? You're not current, that's why. Okay, so can we come back do you guys need? I've got a lot. I need, no, seriously, I've got a lot. I've got a lot. I don't know, I'm gonna
She's the top squad queen.
Everybody back, sit down on their seats now, please. Shh. Bit more information to come. Here they come.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fans. I know.
This has got like a whisper to it. Yeah. That's better.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Perfect.
That's really bad.
Hello?
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You can hear it. It sounds like a siren. It sounds like a siren.
Yes. Can you hear me all clearly? Yes? No? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go in front of it. Loud and clear. What's that side for?
Well, we does it for the meetup in London Bridge.
Oh, okay. Okay, shall we have the mobiles turned off? Everyone that's on their cell phone?
Yeah, it sounds like a siren.
Okay. What is that siren?
Des is doing it. Blame Des.
It's gone now. DJ.
Okay. Yeah, it does. Oh.
I can hear that now.
Yeah. Too much. How are you all finding this? Do I look shorter?
No. You look fabulous. Comfortable.
9. Is that okay? Thank you everybody for coming. I know it's a really awkward place to have an event. I will never come back here again. It took me about an hour and a half to find these places today. And I was like, I sat now, they kept on saying, 3 minutes away. And then I was speaking to somebody that made me get lost. I was really annoyed. I ended up leaving them to try. That's my weakness, I've got no sense of direction. Who remembers the days of 8Z?
Oh, yeah. It's a hard one.
So we used to get there.
Okay, are we ready? Yes. This is the juicy bit.
Yes.
Lots of stuff.
The juicy.
Okay, it's been very slow and I wanted to, get it. We know what a blog is. We know what the type of blogs are. We know what we want to blog about. Yeah? Yeah? We've established that, okay? The people that I haven't spoken to yet, don't worry, I know who you are and I'm coming to you. So I'm going to be speaking to you soon. Okay, so there's the people who aren't back. Maybe they've gone, I don't know. But we're going to start anyway, is that okay?
Yes.
They were lining up
There was the lady down
All right.
Maybe they should have asked us if we wanted to order.
I know.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did that last time.
It didn't
I will.
Okay, so we've done the competition checklist. We're going to talk about now. Thank you. And I'm going to read that. No. Where's my clicker?
Comment somewhere.
This is what it is. What is that siren noise?
Yeah,
It's got
the
to do
buying
with the
right.
noise on there.
Des, have you got the clicker? Oh, that's irritating. Can you guys hear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't see shit.
It is like a seashell.
In this section, guys, I'm going to give you, those that are paying attention, those that are paying attention are going to get free gifts from me. Do you have a clicker by any chance, please? Who checked out Twabs?
Me.
Oh, she definitely.
Twins or twats?
Twabs. TWBS.
That was A.
Can I have the other way? So I can see my next line. Okay. So potential monetization. You want to monetize from the blog. We finished the checklist, yeah? The competition checklist. Is that correct?
Yes. Sorry, can you just tell us how do we check the trending?
Okay, I'm going to come to all of that. I want to know if we can leave the questions to the end so I can really get through this because there's a lot I want to get through. If that's okay with you guys? Yeah? Because if I stop and start, I'm going to lose track and it's not going to be like put together properly. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, so put your questions down and then ask me at the end.
Oh, where was great fun. Thanks.
Do you want to earn money from your blog?
Yes.
Yeah, and there are many people that are blogging, getting paid to blog, and are writing blogs for other platforms, on other platforms, without even having their own blog as well. And today I'm also going to show you how to do that. Okay, so you can get paid to write about something that you enjoy. People start blogging as a passion, and it actually turns into being a full-time job for them, so they actually survive off their blog. Okay? So this is how you can generate money from your blogs. You have to ask yourself the question, is anybody selling anything in your niche that's related to your blog? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And are they well known? Like big brands? Are they well known to the audience? So relate this to your business. And if you're not following, let me know. Yeah? So we're up to pace. And you can also find like affiliate offers to blog about as well. Okay? So this is just a form of monetizing. And the way you could do that is by writing reviews about a particular product or a blog. Yeah? So we have to ask ourselves, what do the readers want? Oh, sorry. No, don't try and write it all down. Don't. Listen to me, please, because whatever you miss, I'll get that to you. Yeah, if you sit and try and write word for word, you're just going to be, we're not going to get anything done. Yeah, just take points about the things that are important, that you think are important to you. So as I'm speaking, just make bullet points about things that are relevant. So think about what your readers want from you. What are they expecting to read when they read your blog in terms of your business? So you need to think about your content. And your content is going to get you positioned. Your readers have to understand that you are the go-to person in the business, and that what you're writing about is what's making you the expert in your niche. Why should they read your blog and not anybody else's? So what is it about you that's standing out from everybody else's blog? Think about that. And that's what you need to put into in terms of your USP, your unique selling point. Do you have one? And deliver that in your blog. So when we're blogging, we don't want to be sold to. People don't like to be sold to. And we need to gain the trust of our followers and our audience. We need to build up a relationship with them. And we need to sell without selling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? So I need to know that you're going to come to me and eventually I'm going to convert you. Eventually. I don't expect you to buy from me on the first time, but I need you to know that you're going to be one of my loyal followers. And if you like me enough, you're going to invest in me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Readers are looking for information. So if you have information about, if you've got information about your business, you're teaching, you're offering tuition, whatever it is, put that in your blog in a way that can be delivered without selling. Yeah? In your case, you do litigating. So you could put, Susan, that you offer a service, and you can offer consulting, and you can say how you've done past success stories, and you can put different information in that blog using videos, using past tenants' stories and so forth, how people could be rescued from an eviction process and legal battles. If anyone's in trouble, this is the lady to speak to. Yeah? And people are looking for solutions. When we go online, we're looking for an answer to a question that we have. Would you agree?
Yes.
Otherwise you wouldn't go to Google. You wouldn't go to social media unless you're just having fun and surfing. So if you've got that information, deliver it. Blogs solve problems. So if I have the answer to a social media query, or what's trending, or what you can or can't do, or what new rules have been implemented, I'm going to relay that information and allow you to understand it so that I've solved a query or a problem. Like today I've told you that Facebook will shut you down if you start buying fake fans. So if you have the idea that next week you're going to go on Survivor and look for some fans, that may eliminate that idea, because you know that you could possibly wake up and have no Facebook page. Does that make sense? Just that kind of principle. So it's important to understand how you're going to manage your blog and the time and effort that you're going to implement when you're putting in your blog. You don't want to be spending so much effort and time and then it's just not going to be productive. You want to be able to understand that your audience is just going to get enough, and then you're just going to put it to a side, yeah? And then you're going to go back and put some more content in there. Now, most of us, this is the bit that we want. Most of us like Facebook and Twitter. Also LinkedIn. Yeah? LinkedIn's a very powerful platform, and a lot of us are ignoring it for business. Okay? Okay, well, you're going to learn today. LinkedIn is really, really important. Let me be in flow, please. So LinkedIn is really important, and if you apply it properly, you will not. I mean, the opportunities that are coming, seriously, you won't be able to catch up with them. I'm going to show you my LinkedIn account. I can't even open some of the messages. I just can't. They're just overwhelming. Because I can't keep up with what me want. I don't outsource my work in terms of my social media work. I can't do that to give it to somebody else. That's my baby. My baby. There are several free blogging platforms. So we have Blogger and all the other ones. And we have freemium platforms. Who knows what that is?
The one that you pay for. We give them free blog on the free platform.
on. Carry on. What's your name? Oh yes. Hello. Say it again. Carry on. Elaborate.
When you start like a free, you go for free, start for free, and then as you progress, you'll be more prolific. They might offer you to have a premium where you have to pay. And
That's
they
it.
up to
You have got yourself a free DVD of mine. Well done. Well done. I didn't know that myself until quite recently.
We couldn't
understand.
Can you turn your mic off?
Okay. Can I turn it on? A freemium login platform is, can you hear me at the back now?
Yeah.
Okay. A freemium blogging platform. You know where you get try for free for 15 days and then after that you pay?
Yeah.
That's a freemium blogging platform. So it's not free completely, but it's just giving you a free trial period. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like going to meeting, but that's not a blogging platform. Does that make sense? Yeah? Self-hosted blogs. These are the types of blogging platforms that you need to be blogging on. We all know about WordPress. I'm not going to focus on it. I have got content on there and I'm going to whisk past that. And if you want it, I'll send it to you. However, it's not the focus of this presentation. I just got it on this presentation, on this PowerPoint, okay? So, one of the most well-known is WordPress. You can implement it into your website as a widget. However, it's not the one that I'm going to focus on today. Right, when you're setting up a self-hosted blog, it describes you, but we need to understand the benefits of doing that. There's advantages and disadvantages to doing so. Yeah? Would you agree? As with anything. And with free blogging platforms, there's also advantages and disadvantages. And you can start them quickly and you know, and sign up and do whatever quickly, straight away. Sorry. But Tumblr is one that is very well respected, which is what Monica was talking about. So, when you have a brand that's consistent, we want this brand to be consistent across the whole board. And I talk about branding, it's really, really important. So, if you're going to be known as, whose business is it? So for example, I'm making money on social media everywhere, not just on Facebook and Twitter. So when you search me, you'll find that's my brand name everywhere. This is what you have to do to represent you. So when you see, this is what we were talking about downstairs, so when you see the Apple logo, you know it's to do with
Apple.
When you see the M sign, it's
McDonald's.
Yeah? So brand identity is really, really important. So every time somebody sees your URL or your username or your blogspot name, they associate it with you. They think, oh, that's so-and-so's blog. That's so-and-so. Does that make sense? Yeah? When you think about the name that you're going to choose, make sure that you think about it well because it's going to represent yourself. We talked about the trial period of freemium blogging platforms. Okay, some start at $5 a month, some start at $30. It depends how much you pay. There are a few platforms, and these are the ones that I recommend. I've tried them and they work. Okay, so you can take these down. There are a few platforms to try and are popular for blogging on. These are free. The most popular one is Typepad. And the benefit of this one is it focuses on the ease of writing, I think it's .com. Yeah, we can type Typepad, it will come up. Okay? Focus on the ease of writing, but it lacks other blogging features. So don't expect to have everything in one blogging platform. Yeah? With self-hosted blogs, who's got a self-hosted blog? That's on your website. Pardon?
What's the self-hosted?
Okay, what's a self-hosted blog, Sue?
It's all where you've got your own URL. Oh yeah, that's what I got.
That's right, yeah. So that's where you have your own domain,
Alright.
and it's associated with you, and it's on your website, like you guys. Does that make sense? It's better, it's safer, and you have a number of choices of where you can host that. So here are a few names that you might recognize to have, write these ones down actually, because with a self-hosted blog system, you have a CMS, and here are a few names that you might be able to recognize that you can implement with them. Movable Type, Drupal, Create 5, Concrete 5, and Ghost. Concrete 5 and Ghost. Pardon? They're all good. They're all good. I use WordPress, to be honest with you. I use WordPress because I've installed it as a widget, so I just press WordPress. Yeah? We want to create your own, if you miss the notes, don't worry. You want to create your own self-hosted, because most of us have our own websites, so it's easier to have the URL attached to, our blogspot attached to our website. It's just easier. And this is how you do it. You're going to choose your domain name. So you're going to choose what your name you're going to be. Do you all know what a domain name is? Okay. And your web hosting. Who's going to host that for you? So your name will be your own blogging identity. It will represent you and your brand, like I've mentioned. You're going to make it recognizable and remember, something to remember. Always try and go for the .com. Make it short, easy. But there are other examples that you can use as extensions, like .me, .co.uk, and so on. Yeah? If .com's not very helpful. XYZ. Yeah, you can add the ones, but .com is more recognizable. In fact, 52%, I think it is, bigger. I'll come back to it. 52% of websites have the .com after it. Yes. Yes.
I know they come up with a lot of suffixes, but is there like a .blog?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that. So after you choose your domain name, find a reliable hosting company. And you need to think about important things when you're finding a hosting company that's reliable. You want to keep your blog live all the time. So you want to make sure that they've got a service that you can actually look after you if need be. So, it's important that your readers can find this information. Should your website go down, and they're able to store it for you and all that kind of stuff, yeah?
Are they supposed to be the places?
Yeah, these are examples. We've got HostGator, iPage, FatCow.
HostGator.
HostGator.
Is that the one you recommend? HostGator.
HostGator is good.
They're very good.
Yeah.
All of them, it's free.
Just Host. I use Just Host. I use Just Host. They're very reliable. Very reliable. Very reliable. Add Just Host actually. It's good. And to have a domain name, you know how cheap it is. It's not expensive at all. So you could go to GoDaddy.com. designer names? Names.co.uk. Yeah? Who knows what URL stands for? We say it all the time.
Unique registration.
Who saw it? Who saw that?
Unique registration link?
No.
Universal Resource Locator?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Have an IT background.
No, you cheat. Well, you ruined it. You're not getting a prize. Okay. We use this tech talk all the time, and some of it, we don't even know what it means half the time. Okay, so that's what it is. You put that domain name in the browser and see if it's available. You grab it. Okay? So we've got the types of domain names, we've established that. So we've got the .coms, all of those. Oh, there's .gurus as well, if you're alive. You've seen that one as well. Yeah. There's a called a .guru. Sorry. So if you're a sports, you can get told to stand over here. Remember, the anxiety which is in the name is like, it has to be important. Because once you put it out there, you can't change it. Yeah, and it's associated to your brand.
When to give a title for your blog, do you give it the same name as the website?
Yes,
or do you create a
consistency.
different-
Consistency, branding, consistent across the whole board. So you brainstorm this is how you create your domain name. You think, oh my God, what do I do? How do I think about my domain?